Hey, good afternoon, and welcome here to the campus of Montana Tech. Bob Greenfield, as we get ready for the second round of the NAIA Playoffs, as Montana Tech is hosting Northwestern College out of Iowa. The Digs doing battle with the Red Raiders here on a Saturday afternoon, a very nice Saturday afternoon, as Montana Tech hosting here in the second round. Paul Panisco, Ron Haskett. Haskey, how are you, brother?
Oh, we lucked out again.
We did.
Another great day of weather. Again, it's going to be a little colder than some of the previous games, but no precipitation, not a lot of wind. Good cool day here. It's perfect for these guys that will be playing a lot of minutes here today. Looking forward to a great day.
Northwestern Iowa comes in here. They got an at-large bid. They were 8-2 to finish the year. They finished at number 10 in the top 25 rankings, number 11 in the ARC. And this team knows an awful lot about the playoffs, as they have been to the playoffs 26 straight, or not 26 straight years, but 26 times. They have taken the Red Banner home 3 times, and they have an overall record in the playoffs of 34-17, which is awfully impressive when you get to this level and you are positive, not let alone when you're sitting at that nice level there for Northwestern.
Yeah, and you're also dealing with a coach and his staff that have won over 80% of their football games since he took over there at Northwestern College. So, the real McCoy, good at football outfit, raw football. I mean, blockers, tacklers, maybe not a lot that's real fancy on either side of the ball. They just play the game.
They do. On the other side for Montana Tech, making their 11th appearance in the postseason as the Digs, 9-2 on the year, an at-large bid, of course, out of the Frontier Conference. They are 5-10 in the playoff picture, and they do not have a red banner yet. So the Digs trying to change that as we move forward. Montana Tech hosting the Red Raiders here on a Saturday afternoon. Again, thanks for joining us as we get this thing ready to roll. Both teams had a first-round bye. Of course, the field of 20 has given both teams a first-round bye. They both found out before this past weekend that they were playing each other, and travel plans were arranged, and this Northwestern team hopped on the bus on Wednesday and made their way here. Looks like they stopped and practiced in Bozeman, and then came here to the mining city. We're on the field yesterday and kind of getting comfortable here in the big Montana sky.
Yeah, and a pretty good contingent of fans, parents, loyal supporters here, filling in the north end of the bleachers here. Pretty good contingent out in the tailgate as well. So, yeah, nice to see a team that's well followed to make a long road trip out here to an important football game.
Well, let's talk about these two teams a little bit. You talked about Northwestern doing the little things right. You know, nothing real fancy, if you will, but they do get after it, and they do an outstanding job as far as the offense and the defense side of things go. But they are certainly led by their defense, and their 8 wins this year, they have not given up more than 1 score. Several of those were touchdowns. The bulk of those were field goals, is all. But in their wins, in their 8 wins, they only gave up 1 score. The only 2 games that they allowed more than 1 score were both of their losses. And certainly this defense drives this machine. We'll take a look at their starters here in just a few. But they certainly enter as the number 2 team in defense in the country. They're only averaging 8.7 points per game. They're the number 3 rushing defense in the country, giving up only 74 yards a game on the ground. So another very good run defense coming in to challenge this Montana Tech run offense.
They defend the pass pretty well, too. They give up maybe 150 yards a game through the pass. If you total those up, 2.25 total yards a game. They're stingy. They have a 3-0 victory this year under their belt, and I think it was one of those losses to Morningside, 13-7.
13-7, and then Concordia they lost.
Yeah,
it was a little bit. They gave up 29 points.
30-19 or something like that. But yeah, it was a good game, and I went back and watched that game this week, that Concordia game. I watched a few of them, Dakota Wesleyan, and their last game, November 16th, against Briarcliff. They routed Briarcliff, but I wanted to see what a team did that beat them, right? And so I watched that Concordia game, and Concordia won't blow your socks off as a football team either, but I saw a disciplined defense, how they controlled the edge. This is a offense at Northwest College that likes to run the perimeter. They run a lot of stretch and a lot of, a lot of stretch, a lot of toss sweep, and Concordia defended it so well. You know, you always hear me talk about guys at Tech that keep their outside arm free and control the lane.
Let's do this real quick. Since we have the starters on the screen, let's run through them. You'll see the 4 that have the gold circle around them. Those are first team all conference over there to the GPAC. As we mentioned earlier, this Raider defense, number 2 in the nation. They're only giving up 8.7 points per game. And then we go to the offensive side here for the Raiders, averaging just under 370 yards a game. You have to watch out for Austin Gerard at the wideout, and McQuillan is an outstanding back, first team all conference out of the GPAC. Runs the ball, but also is tied for the most receptions in their offensive scheme as well.
Yeah, he catches a lot of balls, 36, 37 catches on the year out of the backfield. And, you know, defensively, I think there's one that they might have missed on there. Voss, I believe, was a first-team all-conference defensive lineman as well. I think 3 out of the 4 got all-conference nods. Yep. 2 of them were first-team, and 1 was second. But it's a sound defensive front. They got the defensive player of the year at middle linebacker in Parker Fryer, who is the real McCoy. He was the defensive player of the year 2 years ago, and then he transferred to the University of South Dakota for a year and then came back. So they got him back. They lost their All-American quarterback to Nebraska, but they got him back. You know, it's we were talking in the tailgate, me and you real quick, and I was just like, how would you like to find out your All-American quarterback in June isn't returning for the next year, you know? And those are tough pills to swallow as a coach and as a staff and as a team, but they've accepted it and obviously had a great year looking at the Hayden Grosses and Colby Duncans of the world.
You know, as the Montana Tech starters come across the screen as well, the offense was first, the defensive side of things. The first group that was up was the offensive fronts, and they're going to be the ones that everything is going to rest on today, as they have all year long. The offensive front has done such a nice job for Montana Tech. You know, you look at that game a couple of weeks ago against Carroll College. Carroll came in only averaging like 68 yards a game on the ground, and Montana Tech was able to run for almost 250 yards in that game, and they're going to be looking to do that same darn thing here again, and all the pressure certainly falls on the shoulders of that offensive front.
Yeah, and it's a team. I'm trying to guess what Northwestern College will do as a base front. I saw them a lot on tape in a 4-man front, and against Concordia, they played almost a sole 3-4 with nobody walked up at all, right? And so they like to layer that against good running teams, I think. And that's what I would expect today out of that defense. And so it's going to be, the onus is going to be on that Montana Tech offensive front, getting to that second tier, getting to that linebacker tier, and giving their great running back, Lander Smith, a little room to go, because he sees it. I tell you what, that guy sees daylight like no other. And if they can stay on their feet and get to that next tier of the defense, they can make it a long day for the Northwestern Red Raiders defense. They just can.
Well, as we get ready for kickoff here, again, thanks for joining us on Digger Vision. Paul Panisco, Ron Haskett, our great crew. Second round of the NAIA playoffs. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about individuals, Lander Smith, and the entire offense and more, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back right after this.
Even when you have to weather the storm, even when the unexpected happens, even when the local environment slows things down, we will get you what you need when you need it. We are committed to getting you back in the seat, back to work, back to what matters. At Torgerson's Equipment, we know what matters most: community, family, working every day to make your day more productive.
Hey, welcome back here once again to the campus of Montana Tech as we get ready for this second round matchup as the Red Raiders taking on the Ore Diggers as Northwestern here in town do battle with Montana Tech as we are here on Digger Vision. Again, thanks for joining us on a Saturday afternoon. The Red Raiders taking the field as we speak. And amazingly enough, especially with the long histories of the GPAC, the long history of the Frontier Conference, the Red Raiders, I was on their website, and I was digging through their opponents. The Red Raiders have never played anybody from the Frontier Conference. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. You know, especially if you look to just the history and how many Frontier Conference teams have been in the playoffs, you know, through one or two rounds in the last, say, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. So, amazingly enough, that said, when the Frontier Conference expands next year, they have played everybody that is joining us, obviously from, what remains of the North Star, the DAC. They have certainly met all of those schools multiple times throughout our history. But the first time, obviously, Montana Tech taking on this Northwest team. Again, number-wise, there's going to be some bending here. We'll see if there is anything that's going to break here today is the question. As we mentioned earlier, Northwestern, the number 2 defense in the country. They're the number 3 defense against the rush. And Montana Tech comes in the number 9 offense in the country overall, averaging just shy of 45 points a game. They're averaging nearly 250 yards a game on the ground. That's good for 13th in the country. And they're averaging 440 yards of total offense, whereas Northwestern only giving up 224 yards per game. So there's a little discrepancy between those two. So we'll see which bends, breaks, or what we do see here as this game goes on.
Well, if you listen to their head coach talk about their team, his emphasis will certainly go, or his eyes will widen a little bit as he starts to talk about his defense. I think he realizes that that's where his bread is buttered as far as this season goes. Maybe not in the past 2 seasons as much. But, this is a team that returns 4 seniors to start in their secondary. Their linebacker core has been talked about, right? But what gets lost in all that, they've got a lot of experience and some ball hawks there in that secondary at safety and corner. And then their defensive front, they really impressed me. They reminded me a lot of what Dickinson State brought here last year. Active defensive front guys, not a lot of blitzing.
No.
Not maybe some line games, some twists and such, but they just let those guys eat up blockers and cause piles, but more importantly, keeping that offensive front from getting to that second tier to their linebackers, because they got some guys in that linebacker core, primarily Parker Fryer, that can just flat finish tackles.
Well, as we get ready for this one, we talked about Lander Smith for a moment. We'll get to him in a minute, but let's take a look at the Montana Tech offense. They're led by senior Blake Thielen out of Great Falls, hitting 65% of his passes. He's thrown for 2,387 yards on the year. He has over 30 touchdowns this year and averaging about 220 a game. Blake has done a great job, especially as the season's gone on, managing games, does a great job with the clock, delivering catchable footballs, and it feels like he has really found his stride as this season has gone on.
You know, that low, I wouldn't call it low, I guess, that easy part of Tech's schedule, the 4 blowout games, I think that did wonders for helping Blake get a lot of confidence back. And in 6 years, he should be confident, right? But there were times he just didn't look real comfortable in the early part of this season. I think he regained all that comfort level and trust in that offensive front. And I'm telling you what, that guy throws the deep ball so well, but he's really starting to pick apart and read defenses and get into his inside slots. Gone a ton to the tight end, which is good.
Yep.
Both Pierce and Logan Kennedy have caught a lot of balls, made a lot of big plays in this offense, but he's really starting to spread the ball around a lot. And they'll take their shots at Wyatt Alexander down the field, just like Northwestern will take their shots at Austin Gerard down the field. They like to go to Gerard for a lot of home run balls, and they like to go to their tight end in Peyton Carroll for a lot of first down type stuff, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, that kind of stuff. So it'll be an interesting chess match here today.
Offensively, continuing for Montana Tech, we have to talk about Lander Smith. 229 carries on the year, 1,289 yards for Landers. He's averaging nearly 120 a game. He has 22 rushing touchdowns. He's getting 5.6 yards per carry for the Ore Diggers this year. Then from there, I think we're going to see Renner today. Renner in the backfield field. We'll probably see as well 48 carries, a little over 400 yards for Renner this year. He has 3 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 9 yards a carry, as Renner has really had a nice year this year for Montana Tech. Receiving core, you got to start with Wyatt Alexander, 37 catches, over 800 yards. He has 9 touchdowns. Levi Torgerson will line up in the slot. We'll see him at kickoff. We'll see him at punt return. Torgy, 32 catches, 464 yards. He has 6 receiving touchdowns and obviously a pair of kickoffs returned for touchdowns this year. And then a guy you brought up earlier, Logan Kennedy. Kennedy has 32 catches, 444 yards, 4 touchdowns at tight end. And then, like I say, Pierce has certainly worked into that offense a ton as well. Both tight ends really having nice seasons this year for Montana Tech.
One thing I'm looking out for, too, is that, we touched on it in the last game at Carroll. In the second half, I brought up the fact that inside linebacker Tel Arthur had been playing some offense. He got in there at fullback, H-back, and was one of the lead blockers there in that dominance of Carroll's defense a couple weeks ago here. We'll see if Tel Arthur's still going to be in the mix or if Charlie Kerrigan, the Missoula Sentinel product, is back from concussion protocol. He had to miss that game a couple weeks ago, but I figured 3 weeks down the road, maybe he's back in action. I think out there I do see him. I hadn't seen him yet, but he's ready to go. He's hard to miss.
I was honestly just going to start looking as 57-man rosters. Even if you're the home team, you have to pare down to 57-man rosters. And talking to Coach Kyle Sampson this year, as the season went, that's smaller even than their normal travel roster. So, that's a difficult choice to find out who you need, where you need it. It certainly changes some assignments on special teams and kind of things along those lines where you might have to put starters into your special teams just because you can't afford that extra spot to give to a redshirt freshman or something along those lines.
And you see a lot of these starters in the mix throughout the season on special teams, and it's a good gift to have when you don't have to kind of redirect people onto these units coming into the playoffs when you have limited rosters.
So again, thanks for joining us. Montana Tech taking on the Red Raiders. It looks as though we're going to get our national anthem. So with it, we will step aside for just a moment. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday here on Digger Vision. Our national anthem, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thanks for joining us here on a Saturday afternoon. We are on Digger Vision as Montana Tech are getting ready to host Northwestern here on a Saturday afternoon. The Red Raiders coming to town to take on the Your Diggers. The first time these two teams have met. And certainly looking forward to what should be a great matchup here tonight as, again, a tremendous defensive unit out of Northwestern. And this Montana Tech's offense certainly has chewed up some yardage this year, Haskey. As we take a look, let's look at the other sides of those here real quick. Let's talk about Northwestern's offensive side right now. They are averaging a little over 30 points a game, which is fourth in the GPAC, 370 yards a game in offense. And then individually, you're looking at Gruce at quarterback, the young freshman, completing 64% of his passes, 1,561 yards on the year. He has thrown 12 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions, which certainly is a great number for that young freshman running the offense. McQuillan is the back. We'll see him everywhere. McQuillan, 127 carries, just under 700 yards on the year. He has 9 rushing touchdowns. He also has, I believe, 1 catch for a touchdown. But he is one of those backs where he's going to release into the flat a lot. They're going to drop the ball off. The quarterback does a tremendous job looking downfield. If nothing's open, he gets the ball underneath. And McQuillan comes in here tied for the lead in the number of catches offensively. He has 36, along with Gerard. Both of them have 36 catches on the year.
Yeah, they do a good job with him, not just checking down to him, but they'll do a lot of quick back swings to him, back in the flat type stuff. He catches the ball well. Offensively, they really like to run the perimeter. They run a lot of stretch play, a lot of quick toss to him. They have active offensive line play. They get horizontal. They get their rear ends downfield. And they do a nice job of blocking the perimeter with that receiver set out there as well. So it's going to be paramount for Montana Tech to get guys into that lane and get that thing squeezed and contained to turn that running back north-south and rely on your team pursuit to come finish off tackles. That's what Concordia did against them, and Concordia was really successful. Gross does a nice job. Hayden Gross, he does a nice job back there. I would say if he struggles anywhere, sometimes it's in a little bit of accuracy, but he's careful with the football. He's deliberate. He's athletic, but he doesn't really run the ball that much. He's had a couple games where you'll see 4, 5, 6 carries, but he likes to, he likes to get back there and throw on time. Doesn't take a lot of sacks. Just get back there and throw on time. Gerard's their deep threat, and their possession guys, that tight end, Peyton Carroll. Yep. And they mix in some other guys there, and, of course, the back out of the backfield. But I'd say 3, maybe 4 primary targets for Hayden Gross.
So Northwestern will kick off. The Red Raiders wearing all white with the red trim. Montana Tech wearing the home black with the copper and white trim. And we are officially underway. The second round of the NAIA playoffs. Deep kick. This one's going to go 5 yards deep and go out the back of the end zone. So Levi Torgerson watches it go by. And Montana Tech will start things off at the 25-yard line. Again, starter-wise, you're looking at Blake Thielen at quarterback, Landers Smith in the backfield. We will see Renner as well, that tremendous offensive front who has just packed this team all season long, whether they're pass protection or they're allowing that running game to get started. And then you've got Alexander, Torgey, Kennedy, and Moore out at receiver.
Just when I thought I could outguess them, I was anticipating a 3-man front, just a 3-4 here, but looks like four defensive linemen, 1 and 3 technique here. They'll probably stand number 6 up. The rest of them will be in a 3-point stance, and I wouldn't expect a lot of pressure. These guys sit back in coverage, hit and read.
They have 16 interceptions on the year coming into this ball game. Torgerson's going to go in motion. They're going to hand it off to Lander Smith. Smith gets into the second level, bowls over the safety. He's out to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, good quick cutback there in the backfield. Smith sees the cutback early and gets up, gets those pads down, and delivers a blow there at the 31-yard line.
So Landers will get a gain of 6, brings up 2nd down and 4 here for the Digs. Montana Tech, one of the best teams in the nation in 3rd down and 4th down efficiency. We'll talk about that as this ball game goes. Wyatt Alexander in motion. Tight formation for the Digs. Landers play action. Rolling right, looking downfield. Man, it's picked off. Intercepted at the 45-yard line and out of bounds. Stepping in front of that one is going to be Mosier.
That's Mosier. He's a ball hawk. He's creeping up on the career interception mark there at Northwestern College. I think that may be his 5th on the year. But, he's a ball hawk. They play smart safety. They play everything downhill. Alexander looked open there, right? But he's on the top or the upfield side of that. He gets to play downhill to that football. That's a great read and reaction out of Mosier.
So sudden change here as Northwestern will get the first turnover of the ball game, and they'll get a short field as they'll take over the Montana Tech 39-yard line. Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Again, Gross at quarterback. 12 touchdowns on the year. They're going to run split backs, 3 receivers. Gross out of the shotgun. Montana Tech 4 on the defensive front. Man in motion is McQuillan. And the handoff will go up the middle, and it goes nowhere.
Logan Meyer starting in there at tailback. Short gain, good read and reaction that time by Cole Wyant, the middle linebacker.
So 2nd down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Ball at the Montana Tech 39-yard line. No gain on first down, second down, 3 receivers, split backs.
I haven't seen a lot of that this year. Split backs, both Logan Meyer and McQuillan in the backfield.
Gross going to hand it off here on the near side, trying to find the corner is McQuillan, and he is going to go down way behind the line of scrimmage. Tried to cut it back, and Montana Tech is all over it.
Just playing good football. Oaks there. Just a great job. Outside arm free, beats the block, makes the tackle. He does a 3-and-1 there. You know, all you're asking him to do really there is get upfield and contain that, and he does all 3. Just a great defensive football play from a young D end, redshirt freshman.
That young redshirt freshman ends up on the Frontier Conference all-conference list after a tremendous year here for the Digs.
And this is where you can get this offense. You got to keep an eye on Peyton Carroll there. He's the tight end, detached to the wide side of the field. They like to go to him, but at this kind of yardage, I would expect something Gerard's way.
Late pressure coming. Gross across the middle. Pass is complete. Trying to find some running room on the outside. Across the 35 down to the 33-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and 4.
Catches Gerard on the short cross. They just had runoffs to the wide side. He was to the boundary side alone, just crossed the field. And looks like they may run on their field goal kicker.
Yep. Kicking unit is coming in as Dragstra will, or excuse me, it's Stater, rather. Eli
Stater, he had a long school record, 55 yards earlier this year. Certainly has the toe to hit it, and especially at this elevation.
49-yard attempt here from the left hash mark. Red Raiders looking to get on the board first. Looks like it has leg. It's on its way, and it is good. So the Red Raiders get on the board first. Off of the turnover, the Raiders take the lead 3-0.
That was a good sudden change defense by Montana Tech, getting out there quick after the turnover, getting a 3-and-out, forcing the field goal, and tip of the hat to Stater there, the kicker. I mean, he's certainly proven he's got the leg.
We've got a timeout on the field, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll take one as well. Northwestern leading Montana Tech 3-0. The Digs will get it back offensively when we come back right after this.
Even when you have to weather the storm, even when the unexpected happens, even when the local environment slows things down, we will get you what you need when you need it. We are committed to getting you back in the seat, back to work, back to what matters. At Torgerson's Equipment, we know what matters most: community, family, working every day to make your day more productive.
Nucor is a great company. They care about their people. They care about the environment.
I've never been restricted to fall in a box. I've never been told that I can't do something.
I saw it as a great opportunity to develop a career.
You create your own destiny at Nucor.
We're building something bigger out here at Nucor. Come join us.
Back here once again at the campus of Montana Tech as we see Coach Doug Schliemann talking to the special teams crew out there. As Montana Tech will get ready to get the offense back out. Again, Northwestern capitalized on the interception. They get 3 points on the board. A little over, close to 3 minutes gone here in this opening quarter.
Yeah. Once again, good defensive series for Montana Tech, getting out there in sudden change, stopping them, forcing negative yards on them, forcing the field goal. You can't ask more out of your defense. And offensively, you really didn't see anything there that wasn't pleasing. You get Logan Kennedy on first down for 7 yards and then go to play action pass and maybe just get a little greedy there, right? Thielen throwing it out there, like I told you in the break. I think that ball you just have to throw a little shallower and a little wider, throw that guy open, run him away from that safety. Good safety play will pick that ball off a lot.
So the kicking unit in to knock it away here for the Red Raiders. High kick, end over end. Looks like it'll come down around the 5. Returnable for Levi Torgerson. He'll cut to his left. Little stutter step at the 15, turns it up at the 20, out to the 25-yard line. Good return by Levi Torgerson as he is taken down on special teams that time by Melcy.
Good play by Torgerson to get a return, get your feet wet, get the ball in your hand, get tackled, loosen you up a little bit into that series because they're going to need him today in that passing game. Anybody between the hash marks there, he lives in there, and Montana Tech throws it to him in there.
So back out here, first down at 10 for the Montana Tech offense. The Digs will put 2 guys in the backfield, 1 receiver on each side of the formation. Torgerson wide right, Wyatt Alexander wide left. Heavy formation to the right here. They're going to stack in it. Handoff will go and goes nowhere as Lander Smith stood up immediately. And there to meet him is Fryer.
Yeah, Fryer, Defensive Player of the Year in the GPAC. And not a hat on him on that play. Lander Smith cuts it back real quick and meets Parker Fryer in the hole. There's not a lot of backs that have won that war this year.
2nd down and 10 here for the Digs. Look to the sideline for the call here.
They're a cover 2 half-field team. You've got to be between the hash marks against this defense if you want to be successful.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left for Thielen. Handoff going to go to Landers again. Landers bounces it out. He gets met, keeps his feet churning. He's across the 30, out near the 35. And that is going to be, let's see, they're going to give him about 6 on the carry, bring up 3rd down and 4 here for the Orediger offense.
It's kind of funny, that early on in this, you see Montana Tech's bread and butter, right? Lander Smith, good offensive attack and hard hitting out of this defense. I think both this Tech offense and this Northwestern defense's strengths are displayed on a couple plays, just, benign plays, but you can see both of their bread and butters are displayed.
Montana Tech 54% on 3rd downs here this year. They move tight end to the left. 1 back, 3 receivers for the Digs. 4-man pressure coming. Thielen flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run. Thielen, he is going to take a hit at the 40, but he's going to get 1st down yardage plus some. Blake Thielen scrambles for a gain, and we have where's the flag down at?
Flag came from the secondary, but it was thrown into the backfield. I don't know if you're going to get a block in the back here.
Holding. Offense.
Or a hold.
65.
So a holding penalty against Montana Tech, going to back him up. What was a 1st down? Now we'll come back to 3rd and long. So they'll march it down to the 23-yard line. So Montana Tech looking at 3rd and long now, 3rd and 14 officially.
Yeah, you can watch this secondary. That's Telford down here to the boundary side. He's a reroute and jam and sit in the flat, and he's being overlooked there in the secondary by Fritz.
Thielen looks to the sideline. Wyatt Alexander split wide left by himself. 2 receivers out wide right. Lander Smith in the backfield. Northwestern, middle twist. Thielen stands in the pocket looking for the deep ball. He has Wyatt Alexander bobbled and dropped. Boy, maybe getting a hand on that one was Telford out in the secondary.
I think you're right. Telford just got a piece of it.
Yeah, and boy, Wyatt got both hands on it. He'd love to get that one back because that one will fall incomplete. Take a look at the replay. Arcase Construction, instant replay. Great delivered.
Yep.
And looks like he does get a piece of it. Nice job out there in the secondary. That'll bring up 4th down in the punting unit. Kind of a swing and gate look out of the unit. See what the defense does. They'll line up for the punt here. Andrew Almost has punted 3 times in the last 5 games. The first-team All-American. Fair catch, not called for, and hammered at the 38-yard line. Nice job that time by the Bullets. And the first one down for Montana Tech, none other than Trey Vasquez.
Yeah, so important to the special teams group. Vasquez is a playmaker. Not huge, but I tell you what, being an ex-college wrestler, he can hit.
And there is a new story up on him on GoDiggers.com about Trey's journey from Great Falls down to Cal Poly as a 4-year wrestler and then returning here for a year of football at Montana Tech. So the Red Raiders, 1 back, 3 receivers. Montana Tech brings 4 up to the defensive front. Gross, and a busted play as he went to hand it off to his right. Tailback went to the left, and Gross going to lean forward for a gain of 1.
A rare mix-up there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's Gross. That's the backup, Kobe Duncan, in there at quarterback.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so Duncan,
I did not see it.
Duncan had to spell Gross earlier this year and ended up the GPAC Player of the Week offensively, both running and throwing, a dual threat there at quarterback.
So 2nd down and 9 here for the Red Raiders. 1 back, 3 receivers. In trouble. Getting away once, not getting away a second time, as Colby Duncan going to be sacked deep And they'll mark him down inside the 30-yard line at the 29-yard line. So the Digs with a huge sack. Take a look at this on the instant replay.
Oaks had a piece of him, and then Marcel came in and polished him off.
Trying to get away, and then...
Wyatt.
Captain on this defensive side, one of the inspirational leaders on this entire team, Mr. Wyatt at middle linebacker. Third down and long here for the Red Raiders. They have converted 40% of their third downs on the year. And the Red Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Third down and 19. Crowd getting loud here in the mining city. Out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. Able to get rid of it out in the flat across the 35. Sideline and out of bounds near the 40. And they're going to bring up fourth down here. Boy, again, Montana Tech bringing pressure as Colby Duncan, the freshman out of Nebraska. There's a flag down here. We'll see what we get from our white hat.
It's kind of mediocre where it was thrown. A little bit in the secondary, fairly close to the line of scrimmage, and now it's being picked up. Oh, excuse me, that something was called there. I wasn't paying attention.
So the Red Raiders are backing up here. 8:40 left to play here in this opening quarter. Red Raiders leading 3-0. All right, so penalty is declined. And that'll bring up fourth down.
I think I take that penalty. If
push
I'm
back a little further.
Push him back, and it was a personal foul. It would have been another 15 yards.
Okay. So that's fourth down here. Fourth down and about 7. That puts Levi Torgerson back inside the 20, it looks like, to return. We'll see where they set him up. And in to punt it away is Dragstra. I keep doing it. I apologize. It's Stater. Dual numbers.
Yeah, they talk a little bit on some of the interviews about having to turn their kicker into a punter as well, and how he's slowly progressed into a really good punter here.
Snap is high, and he is able to boom one. Levi Torgerson back, catches it at the 20, has a lane. Levi across the 35, spins out to the 37. Nice job at special teams with the tackle. And getting the tackle that time is Van Berkom.
Torgerson's a little slow to get up. He got spun around there, limping on that left foot a little bit. See if he can't walk that off.
So first down and 10 here for the Digs. Red Raiders leading 3-0. Again, this Red Raider defense has only allowed 2 games out of their 10-game schedule where a team has scored more than once.
That answers that question. Arthur's back out there on offense, too. Started the game at inside linebacker alongside of Cole Wyatt, and also getting some offensive snaps here at fullback/H-back.
They swap over here to the near side. Tight formation, something we did see out of the offense against Carroll quite a bit this past week. Landers trying to find some room, cut back. He'll go down at the 41. That's going to be a gain of 3. Not much there. A sea of white jerseys out in front of him.
Yeah, I think they lived the second half of that football game 2 weeks ago against Carroll College in a lot of this like-looking set.
Yeah.
Everybody packed in tight, and, of course, they were running the ball like crazy, actually giving a rushing clinic. But I like the play action out of this stuff. You're going to start to get these, the Parker Friars and some of that secondary up there closer to the line of scrimmage. That may be your best way to spring a big play is out of that bunch set.
2nd and 7. Tight end goes to the left side of the formation. It's Logan Kennedy. Thielen. They're going to set up screen on the backside to Wyatt Alexander. Not much there. Great tackle on the far side that time by, looks like Ben Eagley with it. The linebacker out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, making the stop.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things, running tunnel screens against a defense that doesn't blitz a lot. They've played some games. You mentioned the twist they ran up earlier in a passing situation, but they just don't like to run those linebackers at the quarterback too much. They're all read and react guys, and they get there and make tackles.
7 minutes left to play here in the opening quarter. Hard count. Now they'll look to the sideline for the play call. Red Raiders leading 3-0. 4 guys on the defensive front. Thielen stands, flushed out to his left, looking downfield, calling for help. He's in trouble. Ball comes out, and Red Raiders are going to jump on it. Thielen gets hammered, as getting a piece of him was Dema. That ball comes out, and the Raiders are going to take over at the Montana Tech 48-yard line. Their second turnover here in the opening quarter. The Red Raiders got 3 points out of the first. We'll see what happens here with the second.
Yeah, you just have to be more aware there if you're Blake Thielen running out of the pocket, understanding that your opponent, just rushing forward. But that's an athletic 4 they're running at you. You just have to know somebody's in the neighborhood. You can't come to a stop there. You've either got to continue forward and try and pick up the sticks with your feet or get the ball thrown away if you can.
Red Raiders back out. And it looks like, can't tell if it's Gross or Duncan here from this angle. Looks like Duncan possibly. Yeah, Duncan's still in. So he is a run threat. He'll keep it. He's across the 45-40, now to the Montana Tech 37. It's going to be a gain of 12.
I'd be curious what happened to Hayden Gross. Did he get hurt? Or do they like a dual threat quarterback here against this Montana Tech defense a little better?
Next, as I look over, I can see, gosh, I just don't know.
They've got 3 number 5s on their roster, so we got if we're looking for somebody over there,
it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So Colby Duncan at quarterback, the freshman out of Nebraska, one back, and that is McQuillan. He'll move him to the right side. First down and 10 from the Tech 38-yard line. Quarterback keeps it. And not much there, as he will pick up maybe a yard at most.
Kellen Beller in there to make the one-on-one tackle. Yeah, and that's what you do there as a defense. You don't have to be cheap, but you get helmets to the ball. They want to play that quarterback, and they want to run that quarterback. You get helmets and pads on him play after play and discourage that kind of action.
Second down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Opening quarter, they lead 3-0. As up to the line of scrimmage they come.
Second and long here. They really haven't tried the perimeter a whole bunch here. I would expect maybe a quick toss to the wide side here to McQuillan.
Gerard in motion. Wanting to throw. Looking toward Gerard. Flushed out of the pocket to his right. Now it looks like he's going to go with it. And he'll get hit at the 35-yard line. Pick up 2 before he is delivered out of bounds.
TJ Oaks has just turned, or Anthony Oaks, I want to call him TJ. Anthony Oaks has just turned himself into a great deep front guy, redshirt freshman, and has absolutely, clearly, and invisibly, obviously turned himself into a really good deep front guy in this conference. Just improved every week.
Third down and 7 here for the Red Raiders. If the Digs hold them here, they would be looking at about a 51-yard field goal attempt. They certainly would like to get more yardage than that. 2 receivers wide left, 1 to the right, tight end in motion. He'll come back here to the right side. Out of the shotgun is Duncan. Duncan, play action, flags aplenty.
False start.
Yep, looks like that's going to be the case. So flags from all directions.
False start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty.
So
that time they had 3rd and 7. The previous long yardage, they've run clear to the wide side and tried to run a Gerard on a drag route. And that time, under 10 yards, they were trying to get Gerard one-on-one down here to the boundary side. But we'll see now that they're over 10 yards if they don't run that same action. Just clear, and run a drag route underneath it. See if they can get time to throw it.
Well, the Red Raiders defense has stepped up big already, causing 2 turnovers.
Just stay in your lanes here if you're the Montana Tech defense. Of course, you want to hurry the passer. You just don't want to get past him. You want to get at least to his pad level and flatten out and not allow him to escape.
Duncan out of the shotgun. Montana Tech showed blitz, and they will not. Off right and running. Good first run here as cutting back at the 25 across the 20 down near the 19-yard line is Colby Duncan, and that's going to move the chains here for the Red Raiders.
And I don't believe that was a scramble. I think that was quarterback draw all the way.
Yep.
Great play call.
Boy, nice job by the offensive front getting into the second level. It looked like the linebacking core had a good shot at him, and look him get into that second level and just get in front of the Wyatt and company. And that is a big-time run out of their quarterback. That'll bring up 1st and 10 right at the 20-yard line here for the Red Raiders. 4 receivers. Duncan in trouble. Tries to escape, and he's going to go down. He'll lose a yard, so that will be a sack for the Orediger defense.
And that's how you do it. Get a lot of helmets to the ball. That time Prince Hall got him drugged down, and Beller was there to finish him off. But you just get helmets to that quarterback and discourage any attempts to run the football.
3:15 left to play here in the opening quarter. Injured player down here for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, it looks like Corver Hupke, 6'3", 280-pound sophomore out of Independence, Iowa.
And it looks like we're going to get a timeout on the field. With 3:15 left to play here in the first quarter, the Red Raiders up over the Ore Diggers 3-0 with the timeout. We'll take one. We're back here right after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Stanger, and my specialty is adult hip and knee reconstructive surgery. I chose this specialty because it helps patients achieve their maximum functioning potential here in Butte, Montana. I like to ask the patient how their problem is impacting them, what their desires are, so that they can return back to their levels of activity. I can help patients achieve their maximum functioning potentials and, in turn, help them with their pain.
Welcome back here to the campus of Montana Tech. Second round NAIA Football Playoffs. Montana Tech hosting Northwestern College. As the Digs and the Red Raiders knocking on the door again. They have had a couple of short fields here. They had an interception in the opening series for Montana Tech. Then the Digs put the ball on the turf. Red Raiders seeing if they can do something with that here.
Hupke looked good walking off. I don't know if it was maybe a wind deal or what, but no noticeable limp or anything like that. I'd expect to see him back in this football game.
Colby Duncan moves McQuillan to his left hip. Two receivers wide right, and quarterback's going to keep it himself. He's across the 20 and gets chopped down at the 19. That's a gain of 2. A big-time shot that time coming through the gap.
McNeil coming up from safety, putting a shot on him at the hole, and those safeties are going to have to be integral. They want to run the quarterback. That's just an extra blocker out there for this offense, and so the safeties are really going to have to come downhill and be in play. But at the same time, be conscious of play action pass, because they like to wear you out, running the ball, little play action. Next thing you know, they're getting Austin Gerard down the middle of the field for 6.
Third down and 9, one back, two receivers again, dropping back, looking to throw, going to go to his back out of the backfield. Big collision at the point, and that's going to fall incomplete. Monster play out on the edge as they tried to get it off to McQuillan out of the backfield, and McQuillan was just hammered as that football got there by none other than Angel Sanchez.
Yes, Sanchez, he'll bring it. He will bring it for a corner. Hits great, always in good position, and just timed that absolutely perfect.
So the Ore Digger defense holds as the kicking unit comes in. A 36-yard attempt from the left hash mark. Red Raiders looking to go up 6-0 over Montana Tech here in the opening quarter. Snap and hold are good. The kick is up, has a ton of distance, and it gets through. So the Red Raiders go up 6-0 over the Ore Diggers out of Montana Tech as they get another field goal up and through. So Montana Tech 2 turnovers in the opening quarter, and both of those converted into 3 points here for the Red Raiders.
Montana Tech, you got to think, we're not in a bad spot here.
Nope.
We're a touchdown away from taking the lead with an extra point here. But what you have to realize is this is a defense that's going to be stingy, to say the least. You've got to go full playbook here. You got to be patient. You got to mix it up. You got to do a little play action on first down. This is a team that when they expect you to throw the ball, they're going to be difficult to move the ball on, especially if you're not real effective between the hash marks. This is a 2-deep team. On third and long, they're going to play you 2-man. And on third and medium or second and medium, they're going to play you in true cover 2. So those corners are going to be squatting, and the safeties are going to stay on top of everything. So you've got to hit that between the hash marks if you want to throw it. And, to Montana Tech's benefit, you got to figure there's a safety. They'll come down and hit you, but there's a safety out of the picture there. You've got to figure against that front 7 between the tackles that you can move the ball with Landers Smith.
After the fumble, Northwestern goes 7 plays, 29 yards, finished with 3 points. And the Ore Digger offense will look to get rolling once again. As of right now, Northwestern has run 13 offensive plays for 45 yards and a pair of field goals. The other side, Montana Tech, has run 8 total plays for 22 yards as of right now. Lander Smith with 15 yards on the ground. Thielen 1 of 3 through the air. Kickoff end over end. This one will go over Torgerson's head and out. So looks like they toyed with the idea of letting Levi return one last time, and now they're going to take it out of his hands, which I think is a wise choice.
It's never a bad idea to test the waters, but yeah, Torgerson's legit. He's got 2 touchdown returns this year to prove it, but he is legit, and he really enjoys it. That's not a job for him. That's a day in the park for him.
2:18 left to play here in the opening quarters. You take a look, some of the other games being played, running across the bottom of your screen. 16 teams left in the NAIA. And after today, we'll be down to the round of 8. 1st and 10 here for Blake Thielen.
Mixing it up now here to a 3-man front. Now they'll reduce down to a 4-man front. Walk up a linebacker.
Torgerson, the deep back, he'll get the pitch. Levi looking to get it upfield. Not much there. He'll jump forward for a gain of 1. Bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Orediggers. Again, Red Raiders doing a nice job getting out, plugging holes.
Stuff's naturally contained. You press your corners, you cloud your corners, whatever you want to call it. It's... You have to rely on receivers to stock block that, but it's a little different story when they're pressed up on you, trying to move them out of there. They kind of automatically contain toss and outside zone.
2nd down and 9. They look to the sideline for the play call. 1:43 left to play here in this opening quarter. Red Raiders leading 6-0. Montana Tech looking to get the offense, get the rubber on the road a little bit. Thielen in the pocket. He's going to step up. And he has a chance to run. He's going to air it up deep. Downfield has Wyatt Alexander all alone. Alexander across the 25 and out of bounds near the 20. The corner started to come back, and it left Wyatt all alone.
Well, that corner's going to try and reroute and read and cover the flat, and he will deepen. He will deepen if he's not threatened. Corner got caught in no man's land. Thielen escaped, and Alexander, they had another vertical threat going down the hash mark, so that safety's got to honor both. And Thielen makes the right read there. Got the ball out to Alexander for the biggest play in the ball game.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line of the Red Raiders. Heavy formation up front. Landers Smith the back here for Thielen. Hand off to Landers. Trying to find an opening. Bounces it left. Landers has some running room. 15 down to the 10, and he'll go down to the 9-yard line. Getting him by the ankle that time was Fritz.
Yeah, there's a whole pile in there, and so often on inside zone, sometimes it's the cutback, but, when there's a pile in there, a lot of times it's just the same side bounce out. Smith bounces, makes contact, and then runs the perimeter, is able to turn the corner.
1st and goal line inside the Case IH red zone here for Montana Tech. Their first time today. 2 receivers left. Now we're going to swap and run tight up front once again. Handoff is going to go to Landers. Landers goes left, and there's not much there as he runs right into the linebacker. Fryer there again, going to bring up 2nd and goal. Basically no gain on that carry.
They get really good run support. Yeah. Telford, the defensive back here, playing cornerback, 5'11", 185 pounds. But I tell you what, he will sit in there against that dead T side or against that short side and mix it up with anybody.
We have 1 quarter in the books. The Red Raiders leading 6-0. Montana Tech knocking on the door. Ladies and gentlemen, 2nd round of the NAIA playoffs here on Digger Vision. With the break, we'll take one. We're back here right after this.
Hey, Dave Brennan here with Case IH. One of the new options for model year 2024 is going to be an open spoke gauge wheel. That open spoke gauge wheel is going to be available on all 2000 series planters. That's going to help those growers in adverse conditions where they're muddy or high residue conditions minimize that plugging in and around that gauge wheel area. For more information on this new offering of open spoke gauge wheels, visit your local Case IH dealer.
Back here once again to the campus of Montana Tech. 1 quarter in the books. The Red Raiders leading 6-0. The Raiders have run, let's see here, total plays, 13 plays for 45 yards. Montana Tech has run 12 plays for 88 yards. And they're inside the Case IH red zone, 2nd and goal from the 9.
Quads to the boundary here. We'll see. Yeah, there's certainly a shift.
We're going to split backs. Heavy to the right now. Handoff going to go to the right-hand side. As Renner, the tailback, gets stood up, still on his feet. Now he gets hammered down to the 7-yard line. Boy, it's going to be a short gain, a pickup of 2.
He's met there by safety Kyler Fritz, who spun him around. Credit to Renner. He stayed on his feet, was able to pick up a couple yards. Yeah, that's just one of those plays you see that, it almost looks like a zone read, that handoff type action. But if your quarterback isn't a threat to keep it there, which Thielen doesn't a lot, and I wouldn't either. With his arm, I don't know that I would run him a whole bunch, but with a threat to run the ball at quarterback there, that play looks a lot better.
3 receivers, tight end right for Montana Tech. 1 back in the backfield, Lander Smith. Alexander slightly in motion. Blitz coming. They're going to air it up into the end zone. Coming back off the hands, incomplete. They had what they wanted that time as Logan Kennedy looking to the official. Let's take a look at the replay here, see if he got there early or not.
Looked like a pretty good play by Fritz. I think he might get his hand right through Kennedy's body here.
Personal foul.
Boy, yeah, right into the breadbasket. And a personal foul against the Red Raiders.
Well, that's a huge penalty.
That's tough. So a fresh set of downs with the personal foul.
I didn't see. Was it roughing the passer?
Honestly, I don't know. Sorry, I was too busy on watching in the end zone, which would look like a pretty darn good play by Fritz in the end zone.
It looked like a play Kennedy still could have made, yes. Right? I think he would tell you, he's trying to lobby for the pass interference there in the end zone, but I think he would tell you that was a ball he could have caught.
TDS first down via the penalty. Montana Tech knocking on the door. They'll go heavy. Landers in the backfield. All 11 in the box here for the Red Raiders. Low puts his head down, pushing forward, and he's going to come up just shy, it looks like. So Lander Smith trying to bounce it in there.
That looked a little better push between the guards there, just right up the center's rear end here, and that's just a better push.
Block. Landers pounds it down to the 1-yard line. Landers, 22 rushing touchdowns on the year, looking to add to one. So full house backfield. Now they'll shift out of it. And 1 back at home. Handoff going to go to Landers again. Landers puts the head down. He'll get stood up. Leans the football out. He'll break the plane. Landers Smith is in for touchdown number 23. And we are tied at 6. Landers got I think he was stood up initially. If we go to replay on it, I think he got the football out over his head. Let's take a look at this from the end zone. Landers gets stood up right there. Tremendous effort. And as he spins around, you see the football come out right there. Great job by our camera crew up there in the north end zone. And, of course, Jason on the replay. So that is 6 points for the Digs. Lander Smith, 23rd rushing touchdown of the year, 2 behind the single-season record that has been in the books for 50 years exactly. Snap and the hold are good. The kick is up and the kick is through. So Montana Tech grabs their first lead of the day. The Digs leading 7-6 with 13:31 left to play here in this first half. Second round of the NAIA playoffs here on Digger Vision. It looks like we're not going to get a timeout, so we'll go ahead and just keep her here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thanks for joining us as we make it our way through it. You can see the scroll on the bottom. We'll have all the games from around the country. Keep you updated on those. Of course, some of the perennials like Northwestern, like Dickinson State. I want to say Northwestern, this is their 26th trip. Dickinson's 25th trip. They're just down the road a piece in Dillon. Then you have some new ones. Texas Wesleyan making their first appearance in the playoffs.
Georgetown got a win earlier today.
Okay. Indiana Wesleyan. Kaiser rolling. Pikeville came in 5-6. And they got a win in the first round to advance. And Kaiser, Florida, doing what Kaiser has done this year. More Morningside all over Mid-America Nazarene. My thanks to Barrett and Tony in there, keeping those scores rolling so everybody watching the stream can get an idea of what's coming up. So Montana Tech ready to kick it off here. The Digs.
I'm pretty curious to go on or see what's going on down Interstate 15 here. Western up 10-0 over Dickinson.
And the kick is away. Taken right at the goal line. The return coming here to the left side. Trying to find a seam across the 25-30 out to the 33. Nice return that time by the Red Raiders. As getting that one downfield is Telford.
Good job getting across the field, making the tackle there by, speaking of Dylan High, or Beaverhead High product, Justice Peterson.
So that will bring up first down and 10 here for the Red Raiders.
Got to like your plan here if you're Montana Tech defensively. They've just done a great job here in a couple bad situations after turnover, sudden change, but playing really good football, winning the line of scrimmage right now, and really in the heads of this offense, forced to switch their quarterback to Colby Duncan as another running threat.
Duncan going to swing it out to the right-hand side, gets it to his tailback. McQuillan trying to get it upfield. He has a gap. He's across the 50 and out of bounds on the Montana Tech side of the field, it looks like. They'll mark him right at the 50, so that's a gain of about 17 on the swing.
They do that a bunch.
Yeah, they do. Take a look at this as he quickly motors out.
It doesn't look great, but they block that really well. They do a good job on the corner. Just a head-to-head stock block. That's hard to do. That's hard. I mean, it's hard for anybody to do. Those receivers stand in there and a lot of times have to block for 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. And, I mean, it's just tough duty.
First down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Want to welcome everybody here on Digger Vision.
They haven't taken a shot at Gerard here. I would expect that coming sometime soon.
Man in motion, play action. They want to throw. Stepping up, in trouble, trying to get away. Nice pass downfield and caught at the 34-yard line. They're going to say no catch. Going up after that one was, looked like it is Cody Mosier.
I think it's McNeil and Gonzer. Well, I'm not, maybe the guy attempting to catch the ball, but I was talking about the pass breakup. This is a great job. He fights all the way through the tackle here. Yeah, that's Gonzer.
Hits hard. That football gets popped out. They're going to bring up second down and 10.
Montana Tech got pretty good early pressure on Duncan that time. I think off that play action, he wanted to throw back to Gerard deep here, but he never got a chance to look downfield.
Second and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Montana Tech brings 4 up to the defensive front. Handoff going to go to the tailback. Nice gap across the 45-40, 35-30. On his feet is going to be Meyer. Meyer, ball comes out. A lot of black jerseys down there. And we'll see what the officials come out with. Meyer
got back to it.
Yep, and the official's going to say that it is Red Raider football, it looks like. Some pushing and shoving in that pile. We have to, again, welcome everybody joining. I got a text from Kevin Diggins, who is, I believe, poolside, sipping an adult beverage. He's in Hawaii watching us. And then Connor Hogan is out in Equatorial Guinea. So I'll have you show me on a map where that is a little bit later.
I wouldn't even know where to start looking.
First and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Up to the line of scrimmage, so a nice run that time by Meyer, the senior out of Iowa. Receivers come in tight here for Duncan. Colby Duncan, deep pitch left side. He has blockers out in front. McQuillan across the 10 down to the 9-yard line.
It took them a while to get to toss. Took them a while to get to the back swing. Two of their bread and butters offensively, and both pretty effective on this drive.
Second quarter, Montana Tech leading 7-6.
It's amazing how quick, just one quick hitter on something swingish or something stretchy. How often that, you get the ball to Logan Meyer there on inside zone, all of a sudden there's daylight. That isn't by accident. Defenses are trained to look one way and then react to a different way. It's just funny how just success one direction opens up something for the other direction.
Colby Duncan at quarterback. He's 3 of 5 on the day. Handoff going to go to McQuillan. McQuillan pushes forward. He'll get a yard. He's going to be about a yard, maybe 2 shy of the first down marker. Bring up 3rd and 2 from just inside the 9.
Interesting to see what they do here with Duncan in. I would expect some kind of play action zone read where Duncan will keep it and either go behind McQuillan or Meyer or go the opposite direction.
So So third down here, the crowd getting loud in Butte, Montana. 3rd down and 2 for the Red Raiders. Montana Tech leading by a point. 1 receiver on each side. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Behind him, it looks like, is Meyer. Meyer's going to get the rock. Meyer head down, gets spun around, and he's going to be first down yardage. Meyer will get it. Logan Meyer, 6 foot 230. He got spun, but he was able to get first down yardage.
Little end around fake there to try and get that linebacker course eyes moving towards the perimeter, just to inside lead handoff to Meyer. He's able to pick it up. Tech made it tough for him, but he got the required 1.5 yards.
So 1st and goal from the 7 here for the Red Raiders. Trying to grab the lead back. Montana Tech up 7-6. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Northwestern has run 19 plays for 106 yards, trying to add to that. Handoff to the tailback and Meyer. He's spun around at the 2-yard line, and he will not get to the goal line. So they're sticking with Logan Meyer, the quote-unquote big back here for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they're both sizable. Meyer, 6 foot 230 pounds, and McQuillan, 6 foot 210. They list him at, but yeah, they're both a couple of loads back there. They run the ball well.
Clock running here in the 2nd quarter. Red Raiders break the huddle. Quickly to the line of scrimmage they come. Again, Colby Duncan at quarterback. Meyer behind him. Logan Meyer, the senior. 2 receivers left, tight end left. Slot goes in motion. And the handoff to Meyer, flag coming. So it looks like Red Raiders got started early.
Any idea where our officiating crew came from?
North Star. It's actually the exact same crew we had last year with Dickinson.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So they knew their hotel. They knew where the dressing room was. They were good. So that one will get backed up here as we take a look at the replay. So Montana Tech pushes them back to the 6-yard line here. 2nd and goal from the 6. 20 plays, 111 yards here for the Red Raiders. A pair of field goals off of a pair of turnovers for Montana Tech. Out of the shotgun once again is Colby Duncan. Duncan's going to run. He gets hammered at the 5-yard line down to the 4. Brings up 3rd and goal.
You know, Montana Tech was all over that. Seeing a little bit of success out of this Red Raider offense earlier with Duncan running the ball. Always aware now that he's another running threat in that backfield. And they were all over it.
So 3rd down and goal here from the 4-yard line. The Red Raiders.
See what they do here.
As they're back in their huddle here.
I just don't know if they feel confident enough to run anything between the tackles.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Duncan with 1 back at home is McQuillan. He's going to throw. Pressure coming. McQuillan gets it out of the backfield, and he gets in for the touchdown. Flag down. So a flag came down late.
Did I get offensive pass interference? I don't know. Well, it looks like the touchdown's going to be awarded. Flag was in the end zone. Might have been a hold in the end zone defensively.
Here's our white hat.
There's no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, there you go.
Result of play is a touchdown.
So the Red Raiders get the touchdown. Nice pass that time by Duncan as, boy, he gets laid out. Take a look at this here as Duncan holds on to this till the last second to get rid of this football as he just gets hammered. Drops it off to McQuillan. McQuillan will get to the end zone. And now the officials going to chat here. The Montana Tech coaching staff really talking to the officials here. Coach Sampson.
Is he going to replay this?
Montana Tech is taking a timeout to challenge the ruling of the field.
Yeah.
Pass where it's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Plays under review.
So they're going to challenge the ruling on the field.
Coach Sampson likes the challenge. He's pretty confident here. And I don't know the exact rule.
So we're focused here, and I'm not sure.
He is past the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
Was the line of scrimmage the 4-yard line?
Yes. We'll see as they go to the replay tents. So as we slow it down here, McQuillan makes that catch.
Oh, they would have had the pass interference would have been out here wide. I was waiting to see if it was within the interior. They had two guys running through linebackers, but no contact was made. The contact was being made on the wide side here, right there.
Right there.
Ball is caught right at about the 4-yard line. Just inside the 4-yard line. I don't know. This would be a tough, take stones to overturn that, I think.
So they'll go to the tents and take a look. Again, their replay is not our replay cameras. They have a camera on top.
The ball is snapped at the 4-yard line and the pass was caught at the 4-yard line. Therefore, it is a touchdown.
Okay, so the touchdown stands. And the Raiders will look to add one here. So the Red Raiders leading 12-7. And they will look to put up the PAT. Kicking unit is in here for Northwestern. Chip shot is up over the, into the fence and good. So 13-7. The Raiders up over the Ore Diggers here on a Saturday afternoon. Second round of the NAIA playoffs here in Butte, Montana. Nice drive that time by the Red Raiders as they put one in for the score. And we have a timeout on the field. The Red Raiders leading 13-7 over Montana Tech. We'll take a timeout. We are back here to Butte right after this.
Even when you have to weather the storm, even when the unexpected happens, even when the local environment slows things down, we will get you what you need when you need it. We are committed to getting you back in the seat, back to work, back to what matters. At Torgerson's Equipment, we know what matters most: community, family, working every day to make your day more productive.
Look up at the crowd there here as Montana Tech hosting Northwestern College. The second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs. Northwestern leading 13-7. They have run 22 offensive plays for 117 yards. Montana Tech's offense will get another go here. They have run 15 offensive plays for 94 yards. And, of course, the big discrepancy here in this first half is a pair of turnovers for Montana Tech, one interception and one fumble that Northwestern was able to put 6 points on the board because of a pair of field goals. So the Diggs offense.
Yeah, still not much wind. I'd expect this ball to maybe reach the end zone as well. Stater's got a nice foot on him.
Yeah, really nice day here in Butte, honestly. As the kick is away. End over end will land at the 2-yard line. The return will go left across the 20 and down to the 23-yard line.
Alexander back there. Torgerson must not have got back to full freight after tweaking his lower leg earlier in this football game. We'll see if he doesn't join his offense in the offensive set. It looks like he may.
So Wyatt Alexander with the return. Montana Tech. The offense, out we go. So as of right now, Blake Thielen, 2 of 4 for 53 yards and 1 pick. Lander Smith has 8 carries for 33 yards on the day. And the Diggs up to the line of scrimmage. Thielen out of the shotgun. Landers will step to his right, now step back into the pistol here. One receiver on each side. Landers gets the carry. Head down. Fights his way across the 25 out to the 26. Now, actually, they'll give him the 27. That's going to be a gain of 4.
A little more of a quick hitter that time against a 4-man front. They're walking that secondary around a little bit, but it seems like about every snap inside of 10 yards, they're ending up in what you'd call cover 2. Press corners that are not leaving with a vertical release, and safeties that are getting back to their hash marks and trying to keep everything underneath them.
2nd down and 6 here for Montana Tech. Slot in motion is Levi Torgerson. And play action, Thielen rolling right. He's going to air it up downfield. Was going into the second level there. Wyatt Alexander on the cross.
They cover it well, though. Near side safety jumps on top of it, and then linebacker Tristan Mulder just getting underneath it. So essentially that drag route from the tight end is bracketed. Just nowhere to throw the ball.
Yeah, they had 3 receivers all going to the sideline, and all 3 were well covered, honestly. They had Michelotti up over the top.
I'd like to see him, if they want to throw the ball, I'd like to see him spread them out a little bit more and run post and corner at one safety and just see if you can, look him off and get somebody open down the field.
3rd down and 6 here for the Ordiger offense. Thielen, middle stunt, pass downfield, complete across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Levi Torgerson will move the chains as he brings it in as he is taken down by Fryer in middle linebacker.
That's more like it. That's more like it. Right there at the hash mark. Just take what that defense will give you. It's going to be tough to get on top of this defense today, unless you catch them on 1st or 2nd and short. In that cover 2, maybe put pressure on a safety with 2 wideouts, but it's just going to be tough to get behind these guys.
1st down and 10 here for the Ordigers. Tight formation, 1 back at home. Slot goes in motion as Torgerson. As Landers trying to find something, and there is nothing there. Asia White is there to meet Landers Smith at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Yeah, you do have to stick with it. I just wouldn't mind seeing some play action on 1st down, but again, you just have to stick with it. It's going to be tough sledding. This is a good defense. It's a nationally ranked defense. You just can't expect stuff to come that easy.
2nd and 10 here for the Ordigers. 2 receivers right. 1 split wide left with tight end left as well. 4 guys on the defensive front for the Red Raiders. Thielen looks to the sideline for the play call. 5:53 left to play here in the first half. Red Raiders leading 13-7. A very quick first half thus far here in the second round of the NAIA National Tournament. Dropping back, Thielen wants the deep ball right side. He has Michelotti. Michelotti hauls it in. Michelotti at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Montana Tech. Michelotti gets the deep ball from Blake Thielen, and he'll go 64 yards for the score. Montana Tech ties us up at 13.
Caught him in quarters coverage. They honored that man release, and Michelotti just outran his cornerback here.
And he holds him off. Like, you can see him use his body as a shield and keeps that ball out in front. Tremendous throw by Thielen again. And Montana Tech hammers it in. Montana Tech a chance to grab the lead here.
Boy, just caught him in a different coverage. That's good stuff. I couldn't tell on tape a lot of what they were playing. I could see they were playing some cover 2, but that was quarters coverage. They caught him in, and that vertical man release, Michelotti and Alexander are going to be tough to run with.
Kicking unit is in, and Montana Tech goes up 14-13. The Digs up over Northwestern as Montana Tech goes 5 plays, 77 yards, just a little over 2 minutes, and they grab the lead 14-13 over Northwestern here on a Saturday afternoon. Again, thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision. Paul Padisco, Ron Haskett, our great crew. It has been an awfully fun year. Both these teams have just battled, both with 2 losses. And
great concentration that time by Michelotti. He's well covered. I mean,
yeah,
that's about as good as you can do it without a pass interference call. If you're Cole Telford there. But, you're right. Michelotti slowed down a little bit. Ex-great high school basketball player as well. He knows how to use that body to shield, to screen out a little bit. And more importantly, he's looking back into a partly cloudy sky, but there's plenty of sun out there. He's looking right back into it, focused, raked it in, stayed on his feet, and got into the end zone.
So the Digs go up by 1 once again. They've run 20 offensive plays, 171 yards. And so we get ready to roll here. Montana Tech will kick off, leading by 1. Deep kick, end over end, bounces right at the goal line. It'll be picked up inside the goal line and return out across the 10 to the 15.
McQuillan with his bad idea jeans on. I think he just take the touch back there. He tried the old okey doke, and Tech wasn't fooled.
So that will bring Northwest out. Colby Duncan is 4 of 6 throwing the football for 47 yards. Logan Meyer has run for 41 on the ground. Colby Duncan has 27 yards. McQuillan only has 2 yards on the ground thus far, carrying the football for Northwestern. Northwestern has run 22 plays for 117 yards. And out we get ready to roll here. Second quarter, 5:30 left to play in the first half. One back, 4 receivers here for Duncan. Hand off to McQuillan. He gets a gap. He's across the 20 out to the 22. Gain of 7.
A lot of room there. Good job by Kellen Beller getting across and getting into his legs and getting him drugged down, because I think he runs for a little while if he gets through the leg tackle of Kellen Beller.
Second down and 4. It's Thanksgiving break. I just went down to look down, and obviously our student section is really thin today, but boy, we have a whole lot of people still hanging out in the north end zone. Packed joint here tonight. Second down and 4 officially. They'll move twin tight right. One back, one receiver each way. Heavy formation to the wide side of the field. They're going to run behind it. McQuillan finds a gap. He's across the 25. First down yardage to the 27.
Jaden Downs getting up there from cornerback to get into McQuillan's legs and get him tackled after the first down was made, but a still good piece of football playing that time by Downs out there at the wide side corner.
Running behind that big front. You see McQuillan turn the corner there. First down and 10. Northwestern up to the line of scrimmage. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. 2 receivers left. One to the right. Man goes in motion is McQuillan. Play action. Looking for the deep ball right side. Has a man in the slant in the center. Pass is caught inside the 20, 15, 10. Into the end zone is going to be Girard.
They do it every game. They take a shot. You just can't fall asleep on Girard down the middle of the football field. They'll always try him, and he usually answers the bell.
So middle posts. Girard hauls it in, bobbles it. Watch him off the fingertips. He's able to keep possession. And Girard will take it the distance. So the Raiders will put up another score, 19-14. And the slow motion of Girard chatting with our sideline. Kicking unit is in here for the Red Raiders. And they answer quickly. The Red Raiders go up 20-14 with 3:58 left to play here in this first half. Second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs here on Digger Vision. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday afternoon. A well-thrown football downfield. Colby Duncan, 5 of 7 for 120 yards. He has 2 touchdowns through the air right now. And he delivered that one right on target.
Just perfectly timed. He wasn't interrupted. Tech brought, a good pass rush. They protected Duncan well. He was able to get back, set on his back foot, stand and deliver an absolute peach to Girard, who, as much as I could see this week on tape, doesn't miss.
So Girard with the touchdown. That's his second catch of the day. He has 86 yards, and of course that one 73 for 6 points. And Northwestern grabs the lead back. They go up 20-14. They jumped out to an early 6-0 lead off of a pair of Montana Tech turnovers that they were able to get field goals on.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I just didn't see much of them throwing the hookup stuff to Girard, right? We've seen some crossing action out of him, but it's like he's going home run ball or drag route, so anything more than a 5-yard vertical release, I think you just have to stay on top of.
End over end kick. This looks like it will be returnable for Wyatt Alexander, and he will do so. He'll try and switch fields here as he's across the 15, 20, 25. Little stutter step out to the 29, and there's a flag down on the far side of the field.
You're going to get a hold up there. It looked like a pancake block to me. I mean, he stapled that pursuer, and they're going to get a hold. That looked like a really good block to me.
Hey, Jason, can we get a look at that by chance? See if we can look at it here on our Case Construction Instant Replay. Thank you, sir.
During the return, holding.
See if we can.
Return team number 24.
So it will be a holding penalty. So let's take a look at this here on the return.
Oh, yeah, it was a hold. 24. He got a hold of him and spun him around before he stapled him. I guess I just saw the second half of that action.
So that does come back. Montana Tech deep in their own territory here. Ball at the 7-yard line. As we quickly approach halftime, remember the Red Raiders will start with the football in the second half. As the Ordiger offense comes out. Plenty of time. Timeouts full. Red Raiders leading by 6. 20-14. One back, 2 receivers wide rights. Raiders bring 5 up to the defensive front. Man in motion is Logan Kennedy. Handoff going to go to the tailback, Lander Smith. He bounces lefts. Finds not much there. He might get a yard. It looks like an injured player down for Montana Tech.
Yeah, that's just tough. He's looking for that bounce out. But again, with pressed corners, it's just hard to clear that edge. They set the corner and force you inside to where, you know, the bulk of that hard-hitting defense can get you. You know, Parker Fryer and the likes, Mulder, they all get down the line of scrimmage and make tackles.
See that here on our Case Construction Instant Replay. Landers looks to turn it upfield and just never gets any daylight. 3:38 left to play here in the first half. Second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs. Montana Tech hosting the Red Raiders out of Northwestern College.
Montana Tech, you'll see Tierney come in the game. Yep. He's had a ton of action in there. Butte High product, really good offensive front guy. He's been in there at left guard, at left tackle, at right guard this year. So, yeah, he's played everything but center, I believe, for this offense this year.
And one of the O-front guys down here for the Ordigers. 6-point lead here.
Fortunately, it's not Spencer, the center. He's up in the huddle right now, so I would guess it may be safe Benjamia, who's struggled with some lower leg issues this year.
6-point lead here for the Red Raiders. Let's take a look at some numbers here. The Red Raiders will run 25 offensive plays for 202 yards. Montana Tech 21 offensive plays for 167. And again, kind of the big difference here in the first half has been turnovers. Montana Tech, 1 interception and 1 fumble in their opening 2 possessions. Put them behind the 8 ball by 6 points.
Be careful down here, too, if you're Montana Tech. You got 2nd and long, 3:38. Of course, you want to move the sticks. Of course, you want to get downfield. You want to score a touchdown, but you can get a little risky against a kind of a risk-averse defense, you know, a defense that tries to keep everything underneath it. And so, you know, long, good, big chunk plays are hard to come by.
See the other scores there. Western leading Dickinson, 10-0 in the third. That one just down the road apiece. Texas Wesleyan playing in their first playoff as a school. Tied up with Benedictine in the second.
Well, looks like it may be Logan Kennedy that's down, the tight end.
Yeah,
it's either him or Pierce. I think that's an 8 on the front end. I can't tell with the second half it's an 8 or a 0. Those numbers are tough to read. Well, maybe not. Maybe it is an old front guy. Well, those numbers are hard to read. Sorry. I'm trying to be helpful here.
I'm guessing safe.
Yeah, it's 6-0. You bet.
So safe. Best luck to him as guys come over and wish him well. That dude is tough as nails, and you can tell he is a hurting unit.
He's trying to walk on it.
Yeah.
He's giving it his best.
So as you mentioned, Zach Tierney, the redshirt freshman, will check in. He has been on the field a lot this year for Montana Tech. I think it feels like he's played every snap since he was a freshman in high school.
Both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball. 2nd down and 10 here for the Digs. Out of the shotgun, Blake Thielen, one back, one receiver on each side of the formation. Thielen, three-step drop into the end zone, looking downfield, escapes, looking to his left. Thielen, and he'll go out of bounds, pick up 5, and there's a flag down, and it looks like we're going to get a hold on the left side of that offensive front. .322 left to play here in this first half. Take a look at the replay here. As you see Thielen trying to escape the corner here. As driven to the ground, and the flag falls on the two of them.
Tierney, that was on Tierney out there. He was in great position until Thielen decided to run. The reaction out of the defender caused Tierney to grab a hold.
So that comes back half the distance back to the 4-yard line. So 2nd and 14 here for the Orediggers, trying to get something moving here.
We'll see what the Red Raiders do here defensively. The last time they went quarters coverage, that's when Montana Tech stung them with Michelotti in the vertical route. We'll see if they don't squat the corner out here or roll to 3 deep.
And Montana Tech going to call a timeout. 3:05 left to play in the first half. The Red Raiders leading by 6 with a timeout on the field. We'll take one. We're back here to the campus of Montana Tech after this.
Hey, Dave Brennan here with Case IH. One of the new options for model year 2024 is going to be an open spoke gauge wheel. That open spoke gauge wheel is going to be available on all 2000 series planters. That's going to help those growers in adverse conditions where they're muddy or high residue conditions minimize that plugging in and around that gauge wheel area. For more information on this new offering of open spoke gauge wheels, visit your local Case IH dealer.
As you take a look there, you can see that wind is not an issue as we see the flag up on top of the Gallus frame. The Raiders leading 20-14. The second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs here in Butte, Montana. As the Orediggers looking to dig out of a little hole here. 2nd and 14. Blake Thielen out of the shotgun, a yard deep in the end zone. Logan Kennedy goes in motion. And the handoff going to go to the tailback. Lander Smith gets bounced around. He'll push the pile forward for a yard and not much more. Going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Orediger offense.
Tried to catch him off guard. A little quick draw in there, but Red Raiders defense was not fooled.
Clock running here in this second quarter.
You hear it so often at all levels. I mean, they're so sound in the defensive front. They just don't have to help them much. They don't have to blitz, not even stunt so much. They just let these guys hit, read, and react. They can shed blockers up front, and they can make tackles.
3rd and 12 here for the Orediggers. 2 receivers each way, 1 back at home. Thielen, pressure coming. Thielen stands. He's going to air it up. Pass is caught. And out to the 13-yard line with the reception. Going to bring up 4th down and 5. And that will bring the punting unit in here for the Orediggers. So the Red Raider defense stands, and their offense should get to the ball with plenty of time to work here.
2-minute timeout.
Yes, indeed. So the 2-minute timeout is underway. 20-14. The Red Raiders up over the Orediggers. Second round of the NAIA playoffs here on Digger Vision with the 2-minute timeout. We'll take one, and we're back here right after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Mark, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine here in Butte, Montana. As an athlete, I think it's important to see a sports medicine specialist as we have a different skill set than your general orthopedist in terms of restoring anatomy and restoring function in an athlete. One of the most kind of rewarding things being here in Butte is being the team doctor for Montana Tech, Western, as well as the local high schools and middle schools here in town. It's very rewarding working with the young athletes.
Trident 5550, the Case IH Combination Application System Solution. A couple of key points for model year 2024 are going to be the addition of a 135-foot spray boom for that enhanced productivity, and then AIM Command Flex 2, the ultimate in advanced spray technology, individual on-off nozzle control, a host of other features, making the most of your product application. To learn more, visit your Case IH distributor or caseih.com.
Back here after the timeout, punting unit is in. Andrew Olmos standing a yard deep. The All-American punter for the Orediggers. This one is away. Loose spiral, fair catch called for and brought in at the 41-yard line. So the Red Raiders, plenty of time here.
Not the 2-minute timeout? Do I miss something there? No, we're at 2:04.
We're at 2:04.
Or just a timeout, maybe.
Could have been. That's probably what had happened there, as there probably was a timeout before the 2-minute. And that's my assumption, is there must have been a timeout taken at 2:04 by the Red Raiders. They show 2 on the board, so I assume they did take a timeout so that they do have the 2-minute timeout available here now. First down and 10, Red Raiders, ball at their 42-yard line. Colby Duncan at quarterback. He's 5 of 7 for 120 yards and a pair of scores. One receiver on each side of the formation. Handoff is going to go to McQuillan. McQuillan finds a gap. He's across midfield to the Montana Tech 47. It's going to be a gain of 11 on the carry, as McQuillan will move the chains again here for the Red Raiders.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
That is their 8th first down here of the first half.
Now
we have our 2-minute timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here. 20-14 our score. Red Raiders up over the Orediggers here. Second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs. You can see the other scores. And several of the games on the eastern side are done. Finding out who's going to be where here as we get to the round of 8. 6-point advantage here for the Red Raiders. Remember, they will get the football first as we get into the second half as well. As the team's huddling up, chatting it over. What's your take on the first half thus far?
Well, it's the Red Raiders defensively are as advertised. They hit, you don't have to watch much tape on them to understand when they want to sting you. They tried Gerard down the middle of the field. That was their last touchdown. It's something you just can't fall asleep on. I mean, as unfortunate or as unfair as it is to say, you just can't fall asleep on that because, frankly, like I said earlier, I haven't seen Gerard run anything but a short drag route or a deep post or go route yet. I mean, you just can't fall asleep on that kind of stuff, and you got to earn your yards, and I'll stick to it. Montana Tech's got to come back with a willingness to throw the ball between the hash marks. That's what this defense and coverage will give you, and you've just got to attack it. You need a quarterback that's going to stand in there, step up in the pocket, and bang that stuff between the hash marks, or at least down the hash marks. They were lucky. They caught the Red Raider defense in quarters coverage and got their Nick Michelotti one-on-one in a completion for a long 6, but the yards have been tough to come by.
Red Raiders first down and 10. Ball at the Montana Tech 47. Quarterback's going to keep it himself. Turns it upfield across the 45 to the 44. A gain of 3 there for Colby Duncan. That is his 10th carry of the day. He has 30 yards on the ground, and the clock running here. Red Raiders with 2 timeouts remaining as they quickly get to the line of scrimmage. They are a team that huddles, and you can see just how quickly they got out of the huddle that time. Trips receivers right, one receiver left. Duncan handoff to McQuillan, and he just gets hammered. Runs right into the waiting arms of Anthony Oakes, and Oakes deposits him to the turf.
Playing a really good game today, Anthony Oakes is.
Big time. Third down and 7 here for the Orediggers. Take a look at this here on our Case Construction Instant Replay. As right into the arms just hammered down quickly.
Gunnar Peterson, the freshman, getting some looks in there at nose tackle this series.
3rd down and 7 here for the Red Raiders. Crowd loud. Montana Tech brings 3 to the defensive fronts. Blitz coming. Airs it out. Right side. Pass is caught at the Montana Tech 35-yard line. 1st down yardage. That's going to be a pickup of 9 as they sling it out into the flat. And bringing that one in is going to be Dimma. Actually, no, it's Schaefer. My apologies.
Yeah, Ty Schaefer. Maybe his second most important job on this team. He's also their long snapper.
So the Red Raiders will call a timeout with a fresh set of downs. 47 seconds remaining here in this first half. As the Red Raiders right now have run 28 offensive plays for 216 yards. Colby Duncan, the freshman quarterback, has delivered today here for Northwest. As Colby is 6 of 8 for 130 yards, 2 scores. On the ground right now, Logan Meyer still their leading rusher. He has 4 carries for 41 yards. The quarterback Duncan has 10 carries for 30. Receiving wise, McQuillan has 3 catches for 34 yards, and we talked about that coming into this ball game, that he is a threat in all facets.
Yes, sir. They like to go to him on the back swing stuff, and occasionally the check down. But the bulk of the stuff we've seen him throw him is just by intention. Just block the perimeter, swing it out to him, and let him use his running back skills to pick up ground.
1st and 10 from the Montana Tech 34-yard line. Again, 47 seconds remaining here in the first half. Out of the shotgun, Colby Duncan. Duncan, play action. Pressure coming. Duncan gets away, and he goes down back at the 44-yard line.
Prince Hall got a little pressure on him, forced him to redirect, and as he was trying to skirt out around the right edge, lost his footing. Everybody's downfield. This is eating up a ton of clock. One timeout, I'm not so sure you don't burn it, and looks like they are going to.
It took a while for him to get it out, but they do decide to take the timeout. 29 seconds left to play here in the first half.
That's a huge loss.
Boy, it is.
That's a huge loss. If you can force anything under, say, a 4 or 5 yard gain here, it'd be tough for them to even want to attempt a field goal. Montana Tech with 1 timeout, should they want to stop it, in case of a missed field goal and a Hail Mary, but...
Boy, Prince Hall got tremendous penetration out there on that left side. Big defensive end, got past the tackle and was able to put significant pressure on Colby Duncan that time. So 2nd down and long here, 2nd and 20. And that is the final timeout here for the Red Raiders, which also kind of has to come into the what you're looking at as far as play call here moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see what they try to do here. I don't know if they'll try and just, pick up 10 yards and give their great field goal kicker Stater another look, 55, 57 yards. He's certainly shown he has the foot.
2nd down and 20 here for the Red Raiders. Trips receivers left.
I think you're going to see draw. I think you're going to see draw here.
McQuillan in the backfield with Duncan. Duncan dropping back. He's going to get it to McQuillan out in the flat, and he gets chopped down at the 42-yard line. Big hit. That's going to be a pickup of 3, nearly 4.
Boy, it's nice to see Peyton Gonzer get some all-conference accolades. He's just had a great year, a guy who's really, really come to the surface this year and made a ton of good plays, both interception-wise, big tackles in the flat, not afraid of anybody. Pretty light load at safety at 180, 185 pounds.
Penalty against Montana Tech was not paying attention. Boy, and that's a big one. That goes all the way down to the Montana Tech 26-yard line.
Had to be a roughing the passer, I would guess.
22 seconds remaining here in the first half. They await Duncan at quarterback, 2 receivers each way, and he's going to spike it. And he's beat up a little bit. Had to have been roughing the passer. So Duncan spikes it. And that will stop the clock with 19 seconds left to play here in this first half. The Red Raiders leading 20-14. From here, you would be looking at about a 40, maybe 47, 48-yard field goal from where the ball currently sits. Three receivers right, one to the left. Duncan out of the shotgun. McQuillan in the back. McQuillan gets the carry straight ahead. McQuillan finds a gap. He's across the 15, 10, down to the 9. They get up to the line of scrimmage. Clock does stop until they get the chain set. As they get to the line of scrimmage, and we'll spike it. 11 seconds left to play here in the first half.
That's a team that knows what they do well, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a passing situation for about every team in America, but they know their bread and butter is in that backfield, both with Logan Meyer and Connor McQuillan, and they trust it and run it, knowing Montana Tech's got their nickel stuff out there. They're kind of preventish, and he's able to go move the sticks, get down inside the 10-yard line, and efficient enough for those guys to be smart, get up there. Sure, you got to stop clock, but you still got to get up there and punch that ball.
Second down and goal from the 9-yard line. 11 seconds remaining. Remember, no timeouts here. One back at home. Dropping back, looking right the whole way. Going to throw it to the corner, and that's going to go over the head of the intended target in Girard and fall incomplete. 6 seconds, and that'll bring the field goal unit in. So the Red Raiders will look to get their third field goal here of this game. And they'll look to go up 23-14 as we make our way toward the break. Ball will be spotted at the 16-yard line. 26-yard attempt, left hash mark.
If Montana Tech has a block scheme here, get a piece of this thing.
Snap and hold are good. The kick is up, and the kick sails through, it looked like.
No snap.
Nope, no snap. Got a timeout called by Montana Tech. So the Orediggers called a timeout.
Did that get through or was it wide left? Could you tell?
It looked good from here, but
they all did.
I was going to say I wouldn't put too much on it. I'm old. My eyes are bad.
Provided they clear the height of the crossbar, they all look good or bad. It depends on what side you're on.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Jason's going to get it. Yeah. So that one. I'm not sure that helped us. Thanks for the assist, though, Jason. I appreciate it. I'm still not sure it made us lean either way. So a 6-point lead here for the Red Raiders. Montana Tech called their final timeout. They'll make Northwestern kick it one more time. Northwestern looking to grab their biggest lead here of the contest. They led by 6 early. They'll try and stretch that lead out to 9 here. Couple big turnovers early in this one. Certainly changed the tone for Montana Tech, but they have responded well. So the kicking unit in one more time. As Stater snaps that one up, and that looks like it sails through. So Stater puts the Red Raiders up 23-14 as we approach halftime here in Butte, Montana.
They're going to have to kick it off.
Yep. 2 seconds showing on the game clock. And again, hopefully everybody doing well here on a Saturday afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision. I want to thank all the people who have made it possible for us to do this all year long. As, you look at some of the sponsors and some of the great people that have helped us, Intermountain Health, St. James Healthcare. You look at Case Construction. You look at the Montana Army National Guard, Steels and Metals, and all of our local people that just step up all the time for us and just could not be more grateful.
See what they do here. Squib kick or try and kick it into the end zone. Still not much wind, but what little wind there is working against the kicker here. I'd expect this ball, if I was Alexander, to be to his right, the kicking team's left side, to use the wind as much as they can.
I would have to assume you're just going to turn this into a worm burner and low line drive, try and get it to touch and up back.
It looks like that's what Montana Tech's expecting. Yeah, you just have to get hat on hat here and take a chance. If you're Alexander, look for a seam and go.
23-14, Red Raiders up by 9. And Stater, the senior out of Cedar Grove, Wisconsin. High, short kick, bounces at the 15, single hop by Wyatt Alexander, gets through a seam. Wyatt out across the 25, he has a little daylight. 30, 35 down the seam to the 38. And that will do it here for the first half. The Red Raiders leading by 9 over the Ore Diggers, 23-14 after 30 minutes of football. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. We'll come back, give you the numbers and more after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Stanger, and my specialty is adult hip and knee reconstructive surgery. I chose this specialty because it helps patients achieve their maximum functioning potential here in Butte, Montana. I like to ask the patient how their problem is impacting them, what their desires are, so that they can return back to their levels of activity. I can help patients achieve their maximum functioning potentials and, in turn, help them with their pain.
Back here once again at the half as Montana Tech trailing Northwestern College 23-14 after 30 minutes of play. A very entertaining first half, and certainly kind of what we've expected, I guess, if you will. Northwestern came out, great defense, caused a couple turnovers early. Montana Tech's offense started to get the rubber on the road a little bit. We've seen some big plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the glaring thing is what a good job that defense has done against the zone running attack with Landers Smith. They've held Landers Smith to a very tough first half of football. Let's address the elephant in the room, right? They came in ready for that running attack, and they're doing it with just not a lot of, I'd call, secondary support. The secondary is sitting back in zone coverage. And Montana Tech has stung it once, tried to sting it a couple other times, but that's 4 seniors generally out there in that secondary, all returning starters, all well aware of what Montana Tech wants to do throwing the ball, and they've done a nice job. I think, and I'll maintain it, Montana Tech's got to get in, certainly between the numbers and the hash marks, to this half-field coverage that they're seeing, and try and get some big completions there, get those guys down the middle of the football field, utilize the tight ends, utilize your receivers crossing the route, dig routes, short posts, post over, long post over short post, that kind of stuff. But they've got to attack the middle of that football field. It's just going to be tough getting guys down the sideline. We saw him do it once, took a perfect pass and an even more perfect catch, but it's going to be tough sledding big gains from the numbers to the sideline.
Individually, let's take a look at Northwestern first. Northwestern, as of right now, has run 34 offensive plays for 233 yards, 130 through the air, 103 on the ground thus far for the Red Raiders. Let's see here. They have 12 first downs, and they're 4 of 7 on third down so far here today. Let's see here. Individually, let's take a look here. Colby Duncan, a quarterback, is 6 of 11 throwing the football. He has 130 yards through the air. He has thrown a pair of touchdowns and about 55% completion percentage thus far for Duncan. Has run the offense well here for the Red Raiders so far in the first half. On the ground, he is also one of their rushers. He has 11 carries, 20 yards thus far. They're led right now at the half by McQuillan. McQuillan, with that last carry, put him at the top of the leaderboard for the Red Raiders. 8 carries, 42 yards. Logan Meyer has 4 carries for 41 yards on the ground. No rushing touchdowns for Northwestern in the first half. Receiving-wise, Connor McQuillan has 3 catches, 34 yards, and 1 score. Gerard has the other deep shot, 2 catches for 86. Of course, 73, or rather 73 of those coming on 1 play. today as he caught the stinger down the seam. So 86 yards and 1 score for Gerard. Ty Schaefer has 1 catch for 10 yards for Northwestern in the first half. On the other side for Montana Tech, 23 offensive plays, 182 yards. The Digs have 6 first downs on the day, and they are 2 of 6 on third down so far here today. Individually, Blake Thielen is 5 of 8 throwing the football, 135 yards. He has 1 touchdown, 1 interception as of right now. On the ground, Lander Smith, 12 carries for 39 yards and 1 score. Blake Thielen, 1 carry for 5. Ethan Renner, 1 carry for 2. Receiving, Wyatt Alexander, 2 catches for 53. Nick Michelotti, 1 catch for 64 and a score. Parker Johnston has a catch for 9, and Levi Torgerson has 1 catch for 9 as well for Montana Tech. So again, number-wise, Northwestern has run 34 offensive plays, 233 yards. Montana Tech 23 snaps for 182 yards in the first 30 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it's just it's been tough offensive football for Montana Tech here today. You got to get back to talking to that offensive front, right? We're not moving them at the line of scrimmage. We're not getting to that second tier. We're not getting guys through blocks in the zone, downfield, 2 pickoff linebackers. It seems, by and large, every time you see Lander Smith pick and choose or cut back, there's somebody waiting in the hole for him, and it's not because they blitzed him there. They're just they're good quick read guys. They're good hit and release guys. And they got a secondary that's protecting everything on the back half, but for the most part. And they're letting those front 7 guys go to work.
23-14 our score. We are at the half, the second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs here on Digger Vision. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the second half and more after this.
Hey, Dave Brennan here with Case IH. One of the new options for model year 2024 is going to be an open spoke gauge wheel. That open spoke gauge wheel is going to be available on all 2000 series planters. That's going to help those growers in adverse conditions where they're muddy or high residue conditions minimize that plugging in and around that gauge wheel area. For more information on this new offering of open spoke gauge wheels, visit your local
23-14 as we are at the half as the Red Raiders of Northwestern College leading Montana Tech by 9 after the first half. They jumped up to a 6-0 lead early. It still feels like Montana Tech in a really good position with 2 early turnovers. Really could have put them behind the 8 ball. Only giving up a pair of field goals. Really seems like that has changed what the second half could look like.
Came back and took the lead twice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just Yards are going to be tough to come by. You've got to make maybe some changes. I think if you're Montana Tech, you come out and you either go straight drop back pass or play action pass on first down when you get the football until you get their attention. And you don't have to hit home run balls there. You can do some hookup stuff, some stop routes, to your inside slot. And another thing is get the back in the route if they're not bringing pressure. You can have him check linebacker, check blitz, and get him into the route. Get that fifth receiver into the route and see if that doesn't spread things out for you a little bit and get some guys open hash mark to hash mark. That's where I would start. And see if you can't get them on their heels a little bit, and then come back to running the ball a little bit of inside and outside zone, some of that power game that you run. But it's going to be tough if you just come out and try to run inside zone on first down, unless I'm missing something blocking scheme-wise. But zone and blocking, there's nothing real tricky to it. You move in a direction and wipe out anything in your way. You try and stay on your feet and get to as many levels as you can.
Well, again, we are at the half, a 9-point advantage here for Northwestern. We have seen, as you see on the bottom of your screen, keeping you updated on other scores here as this one continues. Feels like, and I haven't kept full track, but it feels like the home team has done pretty well here so far. You see there, Western leading Dickinson 31-14. But I believe Georgetown possibly won on the road. Was one of the ones that jumped out at me, and obviously all of that will play in a factor on where the next week's games are going to be played, certainly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice to look and see what would happen, but yeah, at least me, I tend to lose interest once Montana Tech's done, so let's hope we can get a couple scores on the board here and worry about next week, right?
There you go.
Yeah, it'd be fun to make a road trip, should that be the case. Should Dickinson hold on, if Montana Tech can come back and win this football game, they're going to have to play really well to do it. It's a good football team. They're well coached. They're very disciplined in what they do, and they take advantage of your mistakes. That's just and I shy away from calling it generic, but they just let football players be football players. They just don't do a lot of tricky stuff with you. We saw them twisting some defensive front guys. Sure, the teams will do that, but they're not plugging and blitzing behind that. They're letting guys just sit in coverage and forcing Montana Tech to beat their coverage.
And also, I want to give a big hats off to them because they also all went out to the tailgate. I mean, the entire sea of red has gone out to the tailgate along with our tailgate. So, I mean, hats off to them in that respect. That's quality football right there.
You're dang right.
That's quality football.
That area of the country is no stranger to a little party in the parking lot, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're used to the playoff picture down there to Northwestern. One of the other ones that I was thinking about, I was talking about our sponsors and people that make it possible. Bonesy Thatcher was our official coin toss today, and CCCS did a Thanksgiving dinner for the entire football team and everybody that was with them on Thursday. Obviously, with the playoffs, the team practiced on Thanksgiving, and Bonesy and the crew put on a huge spread out for the entire football team and more at the depot. And certainly couldn't do it with without a guy like Bonesy. That's for sure.
31 turkeys, 17 hams.
Ooh.
I don't know how many thousands of pounds of potatoes. What a great feast and what a great gesture from CCCS and Mike Thatcher. I got to talk to him a little bit before the night before that event, just for a little description as to what was going to be going on there at the depot. But yeah, a great event and a great chance for these, not just the players, all the support people, the families.
Yep.
Who don't want to sit at home and feed everybody but their husband or their player, right? Everybody got to attend. It's such a great atmosphere for those young kids getting to sit down and dine with all their heroes, right?
Well, exactly. And then you look at, the importance of practicing all week. I was talking to Coach Kyle Sampson earlier in the week, talking about how important and how special it was to be practicing on Thanksgiving Day. That's those little things that you kind of take for granted or things you don't think about until it happens. The idea of prepping all week into Thanksgiving and getting ready for a game here on a Saturday is a big, big deal for a program.
Yeah, it was a great event, and glad they could all be together, but still get a work day in to complete a full work week coming into this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tech looks really prepared. They look like they had a really good week of practice, but this is a little different animal, especially defensively. They faced more dynamic offenses. I mean, they faced UM Western in College of Idaho, more dynamic offenses than this. And they faced some really good defenses. That'll tell you how good this defense is playing. The games that Montana Tech had against really good defenses in this conference, Western, against Carroll College, against Southern Oregon, they were able to do what they wanted to do. But this is kind of next level. It's a little bit next level. And the Northwestern's winning the battle of the trenches right now, and that's got to end. That's got to be the discussion in that locker room at halftime. What can we do to make your life easier? But more importantly, it's just going to take maybe a little more effort, a little more scheming, and maybe a little bit of a different play design and sequencing out of our offensive staff to see if we can't get that defense on their heels a little bit for you so you can execute what we want to do.
Northwestern 34 offensive plays, 231 yards, and Montana Tech 23 offensive plays for $182 after the first half of play. We're at halftime getting ready for the second half. The specialists coming on the field, getting warmed up. We'll be back for our second half, ladies and gentlemen, in just a bit. Well, as Montana Tech makes their way back out onto the field, again, thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision as the second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs underway. Paul Panisco, Ron Haskett, our great crew here. The bulk of the games to the east are finished. You'll see those on the bottom of your screen, and I would assume we're probably seeing some of them join us here as the afternoon goes. So thanks for joining us here in Butte. As of right now, the Red Raiders up 23-14, took advantage of a couple of big turnovers early, an interception on the first series, a fumble recovery on the second series. They turned both of those into field goals, and that feels like the hole that Montana Tech has been trying to dig out of. As you mentioned, the Digs have grabbed the lead a couple times, but need to kind of get things rolling on the offensive side. And remember, the Raiders will start with the football on this series, which could be a big opening series in this second half.
Some of that stuff they came back with. Montana Tech, there was no surprise there. A couple big plays. The back swing out of the backfield to McQuillan. No secret. You watch a little tape on them, you see that all the time. The home run ball to Gerard. No secret. They do that all the time. Toss, sweep, inside zone, but mainly running the perimeter. The only thing that I would say, and I don't even know if that would have caught him off guard, with them playing Colby Duncan, because you don't have to go too far back in their history to know that Colby Duncan came in and was the GPAC Offensive Player of the Week when he had to take over for Gross earlier in a game this season. So, and you could tell by the listed number of carries that he carried the ball a bunch there. So. Yep. No secrets. It's just Northwestern was mixing it up, executing just a little better offensively than Montana Tech was. And Montana Tech defensively, they haven't been a sieve. They've done a nice job. Northwestern's had to earn every yard today as well, but they've exploded for a few big plays out of stuff that they do all the time, and now you know why they do it all the time.
Well, let's talk importance here of this first series. Northwestern will start with the football. What's important for the Red Raiders to get started with early?
For their success, just keep doing what they're doing. I would expect to see a quarterback run here early in this series. I don't know that they'll try and go up top to Gerard, but I wouldn't say that earlier in the first half that was the first time they're going to target him on a deep ball. Mm-hmm. The one thing that surprises me, I don't believe there's been a completion to their tight end, Peyton Carroll.
Agreed.
But, his range, by and large, with a lot of his catches are when they needed him on 3rd and 6, 2nd and 4, that kind of stuff. And otherwise, they spread the ball around to Ty Schaefer, to Gerard, and a lot of the back out of the backfield. So I think they're going to, just try and shape up some of the inside. Tech's done a nice job of their inside running attack, other than, we saw Meyer get away one time. We saw McQuillan get away one time on inside zone. One of them was against prevent coverage, so I'll kind of X that out. But, yeah, just sharpen up their blocking scheme and their efforts on the inside game so they can open up a little more of what they like to do. They like to run the stretch, the toss, the back swing, that kind of stuff to keep those sticks moving.
So the Red Raiders will start with the football here to get this second half underway. The second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs is we're in Butte. They're starting to turn the lights on to get them going here before we get to that point. And Montana Tech will kick off to the Red Raiders, trailing by 9. So the Digs getting ready to put a foot into it. And again, thanks for joining us here on a Saturday as the kick is away. First time these two programs have ever met. And the return will start by McQuillan. McQuillan goes right side across the 20, 25. McQuillan across the 30 and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Nice return again by McQuillan. Talented back here for this Red Raider offense. Not only obviously running the football, but catching passes and, as we're seeing here, returning kicks.
Good set of hands and good vision. You saw the opening out there. Sure, the design was probably off to the right side, but you can quickly see that he can pick them up and put them down as well. Nice runner.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line for the Red Raiders. Again, at quarterback is Colby Duncan, the freshman. 2 receivers left, one to the right. And one back at home, and it looks like Meyer is the back, and Meyer is the back. He'll get the carry. Meyer gets hit from behind, and he'll fall forward for a pickup of 3.
Oaks was in there early, got him slowed down, didn't get him drugged to the ground, but a good job again in that defensive front by Anthony Oaks.
2nd down and 7 here for the Raiders. Tailgate starting to make their way back into the facility.
Tech's giving them a pretty good diet. Quite a few different defensive linemen. See, starting the second half here, Trey Yates is in there, along with Prince Hall. Oaks out here on this edge, and I didn't get the 4th number.
2nd down and 8 officially here for the Raiders. Split backs. McQuillan goes in motion. Handoff is going to go to Meyer. Meyer finds the edges across the 45 out near midfield. Meyer still on his feet down to the Montana Tech 45. That's going to be a pickup of 16 for Meyer.
Saw McNeil up trying to make the tackle. Meyer got a few more extra yards. McNeil's busy trying to strip that ball.
Meyer got a good head of steam off the edge that time and adds to his totals. That's his 6th carry of the day. Brings up a fresh set of downs here for the Red Raiders at the Montana Tech 45-yard line. The nose of the football right on the 45. Sun starting to break through the clouds a little bit here. Some long shadows. Tight formation up front. Tight end in motion. Lined up in the pistol is McQuillan. And they're going to run the end around here on the near side as it gets into the hands of Gerard. And Gerard not going to go anywhere. He runs right into the waiting arms of Matt Whitcomb, and Whitcomb will deliver him to the ground.
Couldn't ask for a better situation there if you're Montana Tech. Them trying to run the end around against what I call the best, perimeter defender, certainly in the Frontier Conference, in Matt Whitcomb. He doesn't fall asleep on his duties and responsibilities. Not only contain that end around and just smother Gerard. Just a great defensive play.
Second down and 12. Second and 12 here for the Red Raiders. One back, three receivers, rolling right. Looking downfield, delivers, and that one closer to an interception than anything else, more of a throwaway.
I think it's pretty clear, just even after watching that play, and this is no diss to Colby Duncan. I mean, he's obviously, in my opinion, a run-first quarterback. This is the situation you want to put this offense in. You want to force them to throw the ball. That comes with stopping that running attack or that perimeter, whatever they want to do to get to the perimeter. Force them to throw the football because clearly they're not near as comfortable throwing it as they are running it.
Third down and 12 here for the Red Raiders. Ball at the Montana Tech 47-yard line. Montana Tech brings three up to the defensive front. Out of the shotgun, Duncan. Duncan looking to his right the whole way. Now flushed out of the pocket. He has chasers. Duncan looking downfield. He'll air it up, just throws it away. So that will bring the punting unit in here.
It's a smart play by Duncan. He realizes, hey, I got a 9-point lead here. Certainly don't want to force anything, turn the ball over. You got a flag?
Is there a flag down on the sideline? I think there is. Back at the 44 there, it looks like there's a flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 4.
Wow.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
So roughing the passer against Montana Tech. What would have been 4th and 12, now a fresh set of downs here for the Red Raiders.
I don't know who they got there, but I think he said 15. That'd been McNeil coming up out of coverage to chase him down.
Do we have another look at that, Jason? See if we can get it on the instant replay. Take a look at it. Here we go. Thank you, sir. So you see him flush out of the pocket here as he goes towards the sideline.
Oh, excuse me. Tell Arthur. 14.
So unable to see once our camera goes past. Thanks, gentlemen. First down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. One back, receiver on each side. Handoff going to go to McQuillan. McQuillan, stutter step across the 25-20. He is into daylight. McQuillan to the pylon and into the end zone. Northwestern, boy, nice little stutter step right out of the gate by McQuillan, and he will take it to the house.
You just can't give a team momentum. You just can't do it. That's just a incredibly unfortunate penalty. It gives them new first down, momentum, touchdown.
Yeah, what should have been a punting situation. And McQuillan gets to the sideline and breaks it into the end zone. So the kicking unit is in here for the Red Raiders, looking to take a 16-point lead here. And the offense is going to stay out. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. He has Meyer with him. Duncan rolling right. Going to air it up to the front pylon, and they dive for it. That's going to fall incomplete. 2-point conversion, no good. 2:36 gone here in this third quarter. And the Red Raiders put 6 points on the board. Thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision. 29-14. The Red Raiders up over the Ore Diggers here as we make our way through it. It doesn't look like we're going to get a media timeout. I thought we might, so we'll go ahead and keep it here as the Red Raiders will go 5 plays, 63 yards, 2:28 taken off the clock.
You might wonder why they go for 2 there. 2-point conversion makes it a more than a 2-score difference. Not doing it, makes it a 15-point game versus, say, a 16-point game. So that would be the reason for the call there.
So the Ore Diggers, again, no Levi Torgerson back to return. Wyatt Alexander is back near the 15 currently. So Alexander getting set to return.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, but Renner used to be back there with Torgerson quite a bit, and we haven't seen. Have we seen him in the game? We saw him one snap in the first half.
1 carry. So kicking into the very bright sun all of a sudden, end over end kick. Alexander will start the return at the 3-yard line left side across the 15. Little stutter step, has daylight at the 20, 25, 30. Trying to get to the edge. Nice stiff arm. Wyatt Alexander at midfield, down the sidelines and out of bounds. He got tackled out of bounds. And that's going to be a great return by Wyatt Alexander.
Justice Peterson's in a dust-up back here. We're pretty lucky that he didn't get a flag here. They were both tied up. Both guys were going at it. But it ended with the rodeo cowboy, Justice Peterson, just tossing his guy to the ground.
Boy, what a seam that Alexander, great blocking out in front, nice stiff arm. And down the sidelines as he goes out of bounds, and then he is shoved down.
That didn't look much different than the Tel Arthur roughing the passer. He just tapped him with his hands.
First down and 10 here for the Digs. Ball at the 40-yard line of the Red Raiders. Thielen out of the shotgun looking to pass. Flushed, looking downfield. And now Thielen is going to run with it, and he'll go out of bounds, pick up a yard, maybe two. Nothing open downfield.
Yeah, the Northwestern's not bringing any pressure there, I don't believe. And Montana Tech's got mass pass protection. They only got 3 guys in the route there. They got Logan Kennedy staying in on the right side here protecting, along with Lander Smith working to the weak side. 3 guys in the route. Against 7 guys in coverage, it's just hard to spring guys open. You got to get everybody in the route in non-blitzing downs.
Second down and 10 here for the Orediggers. Ball, once again, right at the 40-yard line of the Red Raiders. 2 receivers left, tight end right. And Lander Smith in the backfield with Thielen. And Landers, they fake it to him. They're trying to set up screen. That one's bobbled around, and it's going to fall incomplete. Boy, that got knocked in the air and hung there what felt like for an eternity. Finally hits the turf, incomplete. Third down and 10.
I don't know how pressured Thielen was there. He seemed to get into everything in a little too much of a hurry. You know, it was kind of a weak fake to the swing route to Smith before he came back to that wide delay, that tight end delay that we've seen him be pretty effective with the last 2 or 3 times they've ran that to Kennedy. He seemed to really rush that, and I didn't know if someone was in his face or not.
Third down and 10 here for the Digs. 1 back, 4 receivers. Levi Torgerson in the slot right side. 4-man pressure coming. Thielen airs it up too far out in front of his intended target. As Lander Smith was the intended target that time, and that will bring up 4th down.
Once again, just a 4-man rush. They ran a little game, a big looping end twist. Left end circled around the other 3 rushers to the wide side of the field and ended up getting in Thielen's face. I don't like this call. If they're going to stay on and try and go for it on 4th and 10 here, I do not like the call. It's way too early in this game. You're down 2 scores. Punt it and try and pin them.
4th down and 10 here for the Orediggers. Going for it at the 40-yard line of the Red Raiders. 1 back, 3 receivers. Wyatt Alexander wide right. And in the back, Lander Smith. Raiders put 6 in the box, rush 4. Stepping up, Thielen gets away from 1 defender, in trouble. And as he passes, he gets hammered. And that's going to be a turnover on downs that is going to go to the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they're lobbying for something downfield, either a defensive hold.
So the turnover on downs will go to the Red Raiders. Northwestern's defense will hold.
Yeah, you've done nothing offensively here in this half to believe you can get that on 4th and 10. Yeah, I don't like the call. Way too early in the second half. You punt it. Almost as great at pinning his defenders.
First down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Colby Duncan, 6 of 12 through the air for 130 yards and a pair of scores. The Red Raiders have run 39 plays for 291 yards. And up to the line of scrimmage comes Northwestern. 2 receivers right, 1 left. And 1 back at home. Looks like Meyer in the backfield for Duncan. Man in motion. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Orediggers showing blitz and pressure coming. Meyer gets stood up at the line of scrimmage and will go no further.
Good job. They brought Wickham on the David blitz to the wide side of the field.
2nd and 10 here for the Red Raiders.
And DeVos and Yates.
Felt like everybody.
Yeah.
No running room whatsoever that time for Meyer. Meyer has 6 carries for 59 yards. McQuillan has 9 carries for 84 and a score. Red Raiders leading 29-14 here in the 3rd quarter. Out of the shotgun. Meyer goes in motion. Quarterback's going to keep it. Duncan straight ahead. He gets hit at the 45. He'll gain 5.
That was a nice shot by Anthony Oakes. Getting out of his stance, retracing his steps, taking a good angle on Colby Duncan, laying the pad on him.
Second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs.
That's one you don't expect as a quarterback. He doesn't expect anything coming from the other side there. That hit there from a D lineman on somebody from the side, that leads to a fumble a lot of times. Pretty fortunate for Northwestern not to cough up the ball there because it was kind of a blindside hit.
3rd down and 5 here for Northwestern. Tight end in motion, blitz coming. Duncan stands. Now he's going to try and escape. Duncan drops it off too far behind his intended target as he wanted to drop it to Gerard, and that's going to bring up 4th down here for Northwestern.
Good job of rallying out of coverage that time by Peyton Gonzer, getting up into Duncan's face, forcing that errant throw. That's a good turnaround. Another, kind of a sudden change situation for this defense where they answered the call. I mean, you cannot fault the efforts of this defense here today. They've just been put in a lot of really tough situations.
So 4th down, the punting unit is in here for the Red Raiders. Montana Tech shifts and pressure coming. Punt is away. Bounces at the 22 and goes out of bounds at about the 19.
Stater goes into a little drama class there. He may draw the flag. They're real close to blocking that, and he actually hopped somebody rolling into his feet rather than just kind of take the blow.
And it looks like we have a timeout on the field. 9:40 left to play here in this 3rd quarter. Montana Tech trailing 29-14 with a timeout. We'll take one. We're back here after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Mark, orthopedic surgeon, specializing in sports medicine here in Butte, Montana. As an athlete, I think it's important to see a sports medicine specialist, as we have a different skill set than your general orthopedist in terms of restoring anatomy and restoring function in an athlete. One of the most kind of rewarding things being here in Butte is being the team doctor for Montana Tech, Western, as well as the local high schools and middle schools here in town. It's very rewarding working with the young athletes.
Trident 5550, the Case IH Combination Application System Solution. A couple of key points for model year 2024 are going to be the addition of a 135-foot spray boom for that enhanced productivity, and then AIM Command Flex 2, the ultimate in advanced spray technology, individual on-off nozzle control, a host of other features, making the most of your product application. To learn more, visit your Case IH distributor or caseih.com.
Back here once again at the campus of Montana Tech as the Ordiger volleyball team being recognized on the field. The Digs putting together an outstanding year this year after graduating a whole lot of the stable. They as some All-Americans graduated, there were so many people wondering what this season was going to present, and it was fun because I love the coaches' preseason polls to use later. And the Ordigers had 2 first-place votes, but they had at least 1 last-place vote, if not 2 last-place votes. And they're off to the final site. Coach Brian Solomon is 5th time in 6 years that they will go to the final site and represent Montana Tech at the national tournament.
I heard you mention that the other night on the broadcast. I was kind of chuckling. You're right.
It drives me crazy. 1 back, 2 receivers. Now they'll adjust twin tight left. Split backs here for the Ordigers. And the handoff going to go to Landers. He'll cut it right, tries to go upfield. He'll get out to the 22. It's a gain of 3.
That defensive front of theirs is just eating up blockers. Tech's getting nothing to the second tier of this defense right now, and it's it's a credit to that defensive front. I mean, there's a reason for it. They got 2 first-team all-conference guys down there, 1 second-team all-conference, and all 4 very capable of playing that D front.
2nd down and 7 here for the Ordigers. 1 back, 3 receivers. As Northwestern spreads it out up front. Torgerson in motion. They fake the handoff to him, looking downfield. They're going to drop it to him. Torgerson across the 25-30, dives out to the 32. That's 1st down yardage here for the Digs. And that will move the chains.
Yeah, and so a lot of times, if you can get a back in the route, Torgerson's essentially a back there. He comes on the end around fake and just checks up out there in the backfield. That's that 4th or 5th guy in the route that teams largely ignoring. You can just sting it. You got to be patient against this real sound zone coverage. Take your check downs when they offer them up, especially on 1st and 2nd down.
1st down and 10 here for the Digs. Fresh set of downs on their side of the 50. Thielen Dropping back, setting up across the middle, looking for Logan Kennedy, and Logan never spotted it. Looking back into that sun, he looked up, the pass was underthrown, and that will fall incomplete. 2nd and 10 here for the Orediggers.
That time they were in quarters coverage, and that's that All-American middle linebacker that time. Excuse me, why can't his name come? How could I forget his name? Parker Fryer. He's got the man coverage on the tight end, stayed with him step for step right down the middle of the field.
2nd down and 10 here for the Digs. Hard count. Now they'll look to the sideline here. 8:19 left to play in the 3rd. Final in Dillon. Western beat Dickinson 41-14. 2nd and 10 here for the Orediggers. Trips receivers left. Thielen, play action, looking to throw. Thielen flushed out of the pocket to his right, looking downfield, stops. Drops it off underneath, and that one's going to fall incomplete as it skips to Lander Smith. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 here for the Orediggers.
Yeah, Thielen just doesn't look confident at all. He does a nice job of getting out of there. He reads they all came up field, the D front, and then they got a loop out of this defensive end to the short side. Thielen read that and ran to where he wasn't able to try and pick up a receiver, but his release there did not look confident at all.
Montana Tech 2 of 7 on 3rd downs here today. Looking to move the chains here. 1 back, 2 receivers wide lefts. Thielen, 4-man pressure. He's going to air it up, and that one is going to be overthrown incomplete. Thielen got hit hard as he let go of that football, as getting pressure on him that time was Robinson. Actually, it was Kenny, rather. Lane Kenny, the linebacker. And that will bring up 4th down, and Montana Tech's punting unit will come in. So the Orediggers unable to continue to move the chains.
Still a lot of time left in this game.
Back to punt it away, Andrew Olmos. 7 guys upright at the line of scrimmage here for Northwestern. Punt is away. End over end, bounces at the 34. Takes an Orediger hop and will be down at the 29-yard line. So Northwestern will take over at their own 29-yard line. They have run 42 offensive plays for 296 yards. And their offense will come out and get rolling again. I never thought I'd say this. It's the end of November, and I just turned the heater down.
Yeah.
It's hot in here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Can't blame the weather. Yeah, Montana Tech's been giving them a steady dose of some outside pressure, just 1 linebacker. And other than that, the Tech defensive front has done a really nice job here today. You know, you'll see them. They've been walking Whitcomb up and bringing him quite a bit. I don't know if they will do that to the Trip side here.
1st and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Handoff going to go to the tailback, McQuillan. He's out to the 33-yard line. Actually, they'll give him the 34, so a gain of nearly 5. 2nd and 5 here for the Raiders. McQuillan has 10 carries for 87 yards.
Kellen Beller getting up there into the backfield, tripping him up so Oaks can polish him off.
2nd and 5 here for Northwestern. A lot of football left here. 7:25 left to play in the ball game. Tech showing blitz. Here it comes. Handoff to McQuillan. He gets stood up. What a job in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of 2.
Blitzed Wickham right into it. Great play. Wickham flattened out. He came hard, flattened out, and just absolute target on the tailback's numbers. And he doesn't miss.
Whitcomb with the tackle. That is his 6th of the day. And that will bring up 3rd down and 7.
Really, really could have been considered for Defensive Player of the Year in the Frontier. There were quite a few people out there who were surprised he didn't get it.
3rd down and 7.
And that's no discredit to what Hunter Peck did there at Carroll, another guy who had an outstanding year.
Quarterback's going to keep it himself. Tries to spin. He's across the 35 out to the... Boy, he is very close to 1st down yardage, depending on the spot here.
He's getting a generous spot. I thought they had him down about a half a yard before that.
And they're just going to move the chains. So 1st down here for Duncan. Nice run by Colby. So a fresh set of downs here for the Red Raiders. I'd like to have seen where that actually went down or not. It did feel like a pretty good spot for him.
Umeli and Hall run off the field. Another fresh set of D-front guys. DeVos back in the game.
1st and 10 for the Raiders. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Play action. Duncan wants to throw. He stands, delivers downfield, and that one too far in front of his intended target. So that will bring up 3rd down here.
I think just second.
Oh, excuse me, 2nd and 10. My apologies.
They get that thing rolled really quick over there.
So 2nd and 10 here for Northwestern. Again, they come in 8-2 on the year. Montana Tech 9-2. These two teams meeting for the first time. Northwestern started football, I believe, I want to say 1960. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Meyer gets it across the 40, turns it upfield to the 44. That's going to be a gain of 5. Nice run by Logan Meyer. Felt like that was supposed to go wide, and he saw a little bit of a seam, so he turned it south.
Good piece of running, good piece of tackling by Oaks again. 3rd and 6. This is an offense you want to keep in 3rd and 6, believe it or not. I mean, it's just this defense is playing well enough to stop them if they choose to get it on the ground. But the passing attack just doesn't look too comfortable to me. Certainly would be more comfortable running the ball.
3rd down and 5 officially. 2 receivers left. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. 1 back at home is McQuillan. McQuillan will get the carry. McQuillan gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll pull the pile forward for a gain of 1, maybe 2, but that's still 4th down here for Northwestern.
Stepping up there, Jaden McNeil getting the tackle. Nice piece of, Jaden McNeil isn't that big a character, but he's mixing it up amongst the monsters in there and got McQuillan drugged to the ground.
So 4th down. The Red Raiders will punt it away here. Montana Tech, 1 guy back. So the Digs trailing 29-14.
And it is Torgerson, isn't it?
It looks that way. Certainly looks like him from our angle. Good snap back to the punter. The kick is away. And Torgerson will grab the fair catch at the 16. So Levi Torgerson.
He's still got a little hop. Still a little sore down there. Looks like the left ankle. And I saw a replay of that at halftime. He got spun around and he got his foot caught underneath his other leg, and that's when he twisted that ankle.
Levi Torgerson has had such a good year here for the Orediggers. You look at what he has done offensively, you look at the special team side of things, and then you factor in, he was recruited here to play basketball. Yeah. He's still in street clothes during the basketball season, but that'll certainly change as we get into the new year.
They did it all up there in Great Falls. They
did.
They played it all. Active bunch, him and his 2 brothers. All 3 of them were 4-year varsity basketball players at Great Falls High. Now, don't even touch on what they all did on the football field, but That's impressive.
Very much so. 4:09 left to play here in the 3rd. As of right now, Northwestern has run 48 offensive plays for 313 yards. Montana Tech 32 offensive plays for 195 as of right now. Of course, those 2 early turnovers, a big factor in our opening 15 minutes.
But I'd like to see Montana Tech, just work to, either side's a wide side. The ball's in the middle of the football field here, but you got to anticipate cover 2 defense. There's a lot of things you can do. You can put 2 receivers to that side and either swing one or short out one, hold that corner and hit this honey hole down underneath the safety. There's just certain things, if you want to stay between the numbers and the sideline in your completions, if that's where your quarterback's more comfortable, that isn't a bad place to attack that defense. If you don't want to go between the 2 safeties, down the middle of the football field. But, you got to start by hitting the swing route. Get their attention, and then, hit the old honey hole we used to call it. It's a good way to attack a clouded corner.
Heavy formation up front for Montana Tech. Out of the shotgun, Blake Thielen. He is 6 of 15 on the day for 145 yards. Handoff going to go to the tailback. As Landers, great job finding a way forward. He's across the 25 to the 26. Good bit of running gets him 9 yards.
This is where you got to realize as a play caller, an offensive staff, an offensive coordinator, there's still almost 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. You're down 2 scores. Be smart with what you do. There's so much ball left.
Diggs will split 2 wide lefts, 2 backs. Northwestern brings 4 to the defensive front. Pierce swings out to the right side on the front. Landers will get the carry again. He'll go right. Landers turns it up, spins, gets hit hard, but he is going to get first down yardage. Actually, it was Renner that time, so Renner gets hit violently. And the player that hit him violently is Tristan Mulder, and Mulder gets up slowly. Mulder, 220-pound senior out of Rock Valley, Iowa.
They just defend this. I'm real impressed with the cornerback play, especially to the boundary here. In this case, Luke Yeltima, he does a nice job securing that perimeter.
Fresh set of downs, 1 back, 3 receivers. Man in motion is Torgerson. He'll get the carry. Torgerson, boy, nice tackle on the far side. Torgerson gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. As there to make the stop, it looked like Drake Harder, the defensive end, grabs him around the midriff and hauls him down. 2nd and 9 here for the Orediggers. Logan Kennedy will check out here for the day. Actually, it's Pierce will check out, rather. Montana Tech, 1 receiver wide right is Wyatt Alexander. Man in motion is Torgerson. 3-step drop, looking to throw the football. They want the deep one to Wyatt, and that one is up and over, incomplete. So that one will go incomplete, bring up 3rd down.
Gavin Lorenz in coverage there, in a good spot. Good spot. Stayed stride for stride with Alexander.
So 3rd and 9 here for the Orediggers. 2:08 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Look to the sideline for the play call. Looks like we're going to get trip receivers here to the right. Tight end right as well. And they'll move Logan Kennedy to the short side of the field.
More of a nickel look defensively.
Man in motion is Alexander. Stunt. Across the middle, pass is complete with a lot of running room. Across the 40 to the 45 near the 46-yard line. Logan Kennedy's going to move the chains.
That's what you can get with Logan. You've held him in for pass protection long enough to where he'll go largely ignored. Now you just run a little wide delay to him, run everybody downfield, get that coverage out of there, and then just dump it off to your tight end.
That is
good scheming right there.
Kennedy's first catch of the day. First down and 10, Montana Tech at the 46-yard line.
I don't know if you're going to get the full encroachment. I don't know if the defender came across the line here. They're going to talk about it. He's going to get encroachment.
Offside. Defense number 21.
Yep, so the defense got in. So that'll give the Digs an extra 5.
You know, I haven't seen their defensive front guy, another first-team all-conference guy, Jacob Dragstra. I don't know that I've seen him in. I thought I saw him in the first couple series, but I don't know that I've seen him in the game in a while.
Okay.
Good player.
First down and 5 here for the Digs. Lander Smith in the backfield, 2 receivers left as they look for the play call here. Northwestern brings 4 up to the defensive front. Handoff going to go to Landers. Landers finds the left edge. He's across the 45 down to the 44.
Good spot to be in. It's going to be 2nd and short, 2nd and 1. Good piece of running by Landers Smith.
Boy, all of his yards have been hard-fought yards today. Northwestern's doing a great job on the running game. Landers, 15 carries. That puts him at about 58 yards. Now, 2nd and 1.
Now we're starting to see this defense. They're clouding the dead T side. So to the boundary side, you'll see 2. He'll cloud. He won't drop. And then they're going to play 3 deep behind that. A lot of cushion
Torgerson
here on the edge.
Goes in motion. Dropping back, looking to throw. Thielen has all day. He wants the deep pine. Downfield, overthrown. Wyatt Alexander, the intended target. As they take the shot on 2nd down, that's going to bring up 3rd down and 1 here for the Orediger offense. Took the deep stroke.
Never a bad idea, especially to Alexander.
3rd and 1 here as the Digs.
That thing would have brought this house down.
Oh. There would have been that would have factored on the Richter scale a little bit.
Now you got to work for it. Even 1 yard's been tough to get against this defensive front.
It has.
They've got 4 walked up, 2 on the outside. You got to stay between the tackles here.
2 backs, Pierce in motion. Heavy formation to the right. Hand off to Lander Smith. He hits the line of scrimmage. And he is not going to get it. They're going to give him the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So it's going to be 4th down and 1 here for the Orediggers. Ball at the 45-yard line of Northwestern.
If they went for it on 4th and 10 before, they'll certainly go for it here.
Yeah, the offense doesn't even look. They're just going to stay. Logan Kennedy in the backfield, Lander Smith in the backfield.
They'll try and draw him off here first and then look to the sideline for a play.
Down to 6 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Pierce goes in motion, 3 seconds. Hand off to Landers. He's going down. They're going to take him down. He got tripped up in the backfield, and a turnover on downs will go to Northwestern.
That's Voss, another first-team all-conference player in that defensive front. Just really active. Great play there in the defense.
So we'll go to the 4th quarter. Northwestern leading 29-14, and they'll have the ball to start the final frame. We'll take a break. We're back here to Bob Green right after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Mark, orthopedic surgeon, specializing in sports medicine here in Butte, Montana. As an athlete, I think it's important to see a sports medicine specialist, as we have a different skill set than your general orthopedist in terms of restoring anatomy and restoring function in an athlete. One of the most kind of rewarding things being here in Butte is being the team doctor for Montana Tech, Western, as well as the local high schools and middle schools here in town. It's very rewarding working with the young athletes.
Trident 5550, the Case IH Combination Application System Solution. A couple of key points for model year 2024 are going to be the addition of a 135-foot spray boom for that enhanced productivity, and then Aim Command Flex 2, the ultimate in advanced spray technology, individual on-off nozzle control, a host of other features, making the most of your product application. To learn more, visit your Case IH distributor or caseih.com.
Back here once again to the campus of Montana Tech. 15 minutes left in regulation. Northwestern leading 29-14, made a huge defensive stand to get a turnover on downs. And their offense will take over at their 45-yard line. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun, man in motion. Play action pass, looking for the deep shot. Into double coverage, and that one is going to fall incomplete. Looking for Gerard, and Gerard never got eyes on it.
I told you at halftime that wasn't the last time they were going to try him. Good coverage that time. Is that Sanchez back there?
Sanchez over the top, and
Neal.
Yep. Like that's the case. Had him bracketed nicely. But actually, they were the only ones that really had eyes on that football.
Yeah, Gerard couldn't find it.
Yeah, and again, you're looking back into an awfully bright sun to the south. That will wreak havoc here on the receivers a little bit for Northwestern if they keep it in the air. Man in motion, 1 back. Tech brings 4. They show blitz. Hand off to the tailback, McQuillan. Finds the corner and out of bounds at the Montana Tech 46-yard line. Connor McQuillan, senior out of Leavenworth, Kansas with the run. That is his 13th carry today. And he's quickly approaching 100 yards on the ground. That one, a gain of 8, should put him at 98 yards rushing.
Big play here defensively. You stop them, you'll see them punt the ball away. And there's nothing Northwestern would do that's careless enough to do anything but kick that ball away if you get a stop here, knowing you're up 2 scores.
3rd down and 1 here for the Red Raiders. Ball at the Montana Tech 46. Hand off to McQuillan. McQuillan gets hit, and he is going to vault forward. Second effort is going to give him the possibility here. Otherwise,
great effort that time. Matt Whitcomb gets in and just puts a shot on him.
Whitcomb gets up limping a little bit. Some chatting here. And they're going to eyeball it. Looks like we're going to get a stretch of the chains. If McQuillan doesn't make that second effort, it's not even close.
Yeah, this is a first down. I'm surprised they're pulling the chains out on a manufactured field here. Unless I got a bad angle. I think I had a bad angle.
Looks like we've got a football field length here. So the chains will come out and get stretched. Again, thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision. We've got folks from around the country throwing us messages. As folks in Hawaii joining us. First down by half a football. Also, obviously got Peach down to Arizona, pestering us as usual. Brother Peach, Luke Meyer and company down to Grand Junction, Colorado.
You ever been to Grand Junction?
I would assume so, but not saying it made an impression enough for me to remember. It would have been a long time ago if I did.
I got to play there.
Really?
Mesa State. Yep.
Okay.
We didn't win.
First down and 10 here for the Red Raiders.
I think Ron Richards' son Rory was born during that game, if I remember right.
Really? Okay. First and 10. I'm a fan of the fact that we can call them the Red Raiders. Last time we called the team the Red Raiders, we got yelled at.
Are you old enough to remember Tony Martin? Played for the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins, the receiver? No, he was on that team.
Trips receivers left, one back. Handoff will go to McQuillan. McQuillan will get taken down a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration that time by Montana Tech. And Kellen Beller gets into the legs of him, brings him down.
Beller's had a nice game here today, too.
Second and 11. Fourth quarter, rolling along.
You know, down 2 scores, but I couldn't be more impressed with this young defensive front of Montana Tech today. They've played a really good game. You know, have a couple of plays popped? Sure. But, you know, if you compare this to like last year's inexperience and depth in the defensive front, they're making gains there, and that's the important thing.
Second and 11. Rolling left, Duncan in trouble. Duncan gets away from one. Duncan gonna run, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, +1. And he took a beating as
Prince Hall
Prince Hall got him. That was a nice play by Duncan, getting away from one guy in the backfield and getting positive yards somehow out of that. As Montana Tech, great pressure.
You got to love Wickham. Wickham takes a chance here, comes inside and spins him around and just can't hold on. But, you know, it was worth the chance, right? You want to make a play.
And then there's Prince saying hello. Third and long. Diggs need a stop here. 12:20 left to play in the ball game. Down 2 scores. Crowd is loud as out of the shotgun, Colby Duncan. Duncan has one back at home as McQuillan. Duncan keeps it himself. Does that say we're in 2-down territory here? Or what are you thinking? Are they getting it set for a field goal?
They'll punt it. They'll punt it. Yeah.
I was like, you're looking at 42. Yeah, I mean, you're like a 60-yard field goal here, for goodness sake.
Yeah, certainly won't go for it. I don't know. They might entertain giving Stater a shot here, but you kick this ball away, no doubt.
Have to assume if they tried, they'd put it down at like the 48. It'd be like a 58-yard attempt. Not much in the way of wind, if any. And the punting unit does come in.
You'll get Stater on to kick, but it'll be a punt kick.
So 4th down. And the punting unit is in here for the Red Raiders. Back to return is Torgerson. Stater rolls out. Fair catch called for and brought in at the 9 into a very bright sun. So the Oredigers will take over at their 9-yard line. There's a lot of green between they and points here as they trail by 2 scores in need of some points.
They got the weapons that can chew up green. They just have to attack it properly. A lot of time, and the defense, there's nothing to tell you that if you score, you give the ball back to Northwestern, that you don't get the stop you want and the punch you want. But first and foremost, you've got to go out and get 1 first down here. You're coming out from inside your 10-yard line. Number 1 goal is to move them sticks at least 1 time and then get on to a different sequence of plays.
Tech 41 offensive plays, 228 yards. Thielen is thrown for $161. 1 back, 3 receivers looking right the whole way. Pass is up and caught to the far sidelines. Very close to first down yardage after the fighting to the sidelines.
Nice to see him come to that. Thielen's got the arm strength to throw that ball, and you recognize up top, we mentioned it in the previous series, they're getting a big cushion to the wide side of the field out of those cornerbacks, and at least try them.
Michelati, good effort on the sidelines to get some additional yardage. Brings up 1st and 10 here for the Digs, as he does get 10 on the reception. 3 receivers. Thielen looking left the whole way. Pump fake once, steps up, and throws this one far out of play. Thielen was deposited to the ground as well after he let that one go. And he gets up slowly. 2nd and 10 here for the Orediggers. Thielen stretching.
And I'm trying to see, of course, Cade Wyant's in uniform, the backup quarterback. But I'm not so sure that they suited a third, certainly not a fourth. Jake Casagrande did not suit.
And I don't know if Wilson suited or not.
Does he wear number? No, he doesn't wear number 4. He wears like number 8.
That's the case. 2nd down and 10 here for the Digs. 2 receivers left. Thielen dropping back. 4-man pressure. Airs it up right side. And that one, boy, almost tipped, and then it's knocked away. Nice job downfield that time as the Orediggers trying to get that one in. Good coverage that time as it went through the hands of the linebacker.
Ball looked a little wonky. Did it get tipped?
I think it feels like it did. Let's take a look here. Thanks, Jason, our instant replay guru.
Nope. Oh,
yeah, it did.
Right there.
So there you go. Perfect there. Thank you, sir. As Geltima got fingertips on it. 3rd down and 10. The Digs need to move the chains here. Oh. Dropping back. Looking to throw. Downfield. Has a man. That one's going to be underthrown, incomplete. Bring up 4th and 10 here. And again, Northwestern continues to get pressure with 4.
I think that's pressure that could have been avoided. I don't know if you'll see that play again. If Thielen would have just taken another step up. I could be wrong.
4th down and 10. And the punting unit is in. Andrew Olmos back at the 4-yard line. It's a 2-score lead here for Northwestern. They go up 29-14. They jumped up to a quick 6-0 lead off of a pair of turnovers that they converted into field goals. Low line drive, loose punt, bounces at the 39, takes an Orediger bounce. Inside the 20, Andrew Olmos knocks that one down at the 16.
65-yard kick.
There you go, Andrew Olmos, first-team All-American. I talked to him before the game, and he's another kid that I love. He's just a good kid. And I came on the field as they were doing warm-ups, and I'm like, Andrew, I don't know how to tell you this any other way, but I hope you never touch the football today. He's like, come on. I've only punted the ball 3 times in the last 5 weeks.
Did you tell him that's okay? You got a lot of practice.
He said he was fighting for reps on senior day at safety or trying to possibly kick an extra point maybe. 1st down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Blitz coming, in trouble, and going down. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage there as Colby Duncan gets wrestled down. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10 here.
Guy playing a lot of minutes today. Gunnar Peterson in there with the sack.
Boy,
it's funny you talk about getting a kicker or a punter of the ball. Kasney's senior year, he used to run a lot of routes with us, especially when we were light on numbers on the road. He'd run county fair, catch balls, and all that stuff. I always wanted to get him a catch or a touchdown opportunity in a game late in his career. I thought that would have been great.
Well, that's what Andrew's like. He's like, I came here as a secondary guy. I'm like, come on, let me go back and play some secondary. 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun is Duncan. 1 back, 3 receivers. Handoff going to go to the tailback, McQuillan. And he'll get just hammered again. McQuillan taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, you're going to get a taunting flag here.
I think so.
On Peyton Gonzer. Did that flag get thrown or not?
No.
Oh, no, it didn't.
No flag.
It looked like the official. I thought I saw him reach to his pocket and toss. Because Gonzer's pretty excited after Whitcomb's tackle there. Look at it right there.
Boy, Whitcomb with a great fill here. You see him just step up. He has been nothing short of fantastic this year for Montana Tech. He has just stepped up every week. 3rd down and long. Tech needs a stop here. Under 9 minutes left to play in the ball game. They need a pair of scores. Some confusion to the offensive front, and that one's going to fall incomplete.
That was good
pressure.
For a couple reasons. Incomplete and stops the clock. Every second's going to matter now here for this Montana Tech offense. Under 9 minutes left, and you've got to get down the field and score twice against a really stingy defense.
So 4th down, punting deep in their own territory. Montana Tech should get good field position here. Levi Torgerson has a pair of kickoffs returned for scores. Doesn't have a punt return for a touchdown yet.
He's still not even close to 100% on that foot.
No.
I'm surprised they don't have Ian out there.
So the snap and punt blocked. Punt is blocked. It goes straight in the air, fielded at the 5-yard line and into the end zone. Getting the score is going to be Jace Thompson. Jace Thompson fields that thing like a center fielder, and he goes up and hauls it in.
Watch the effort by Trey Vasquez here. He goes full Superman.
Wait, that is huge. Trey Vasquez makes that. Here we go. Here's another angle at it. Thanks, Jason. Look at that. What a play by Vasquez. And then watch this. Thompson gets underneath this thing. He fields it, sees it the whole way, pulls it into the breadbasket, and strolls in for 6. Special teams coming up with the score for Montana Tech, and they'll go for the PAT. They'll try and make this an 8-point ball game. Special teams making it happen for the Orediggers. 8:44 left to play. Snap and hold are good. The kick is up and the kick is through. So Trey Vasquez, we talked about him earlier, 4-year wrestler at Cal Poly out of Great Falls. Played football, obviously, for the Bison his whole high school career. Came here to hang out with his friends and finish his career. And he has made a huge play here for Montana Tech. Again, for his story, make sure to log on to GoDiggers.com. Just posted this morning. And we have got ourselves a football game. 8:44 left to play here in the ball game. With the timeout, we'll take one. We're back here after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Reisig, an orthopedic surgeon here in Butte, Montana with specialty training in foot and ankle. I chose orthopedic surgery because I get to actively help my patients enjoy their lives. The human body in general is just really amazing. The way everything works as a unit, the way the bones, tendons, muscles all work to function and just make people move is something that I've always found incredibly fascinating. And there's nothing more rewarding than seeing a patient get better because of the work we did together.
Hey, we're back here once again at the campus of Montana Tech. I have to start here first and foremost. Trey, I'm very sorry. I said you were from Great Falls. You're from Kalispell. You were, I assume, a Flathead Brave, since that's where one of the wrestling powers in the state is. Trey, I'm very sorry. That's why you should go read the story at GoDiggers.com instead of listening to me. Okay, so Trey, my bad. Trey Vasquez, huge special teams play. Montana Tech within 8.
What an effort. I mean, he's fully sprawled out and just gets one hand out there.
Low line drive kick, and that one will bounce 1 yard deep and roll through the back of the end zone. So Northwestern's offense will come out and go again here. They have run 57 offensive plays for 326 yards.
I'm kind of surprised McQuillan didn't take a run at that one. It was a fairly low kick, right there at the goal line. I tell you what, he's a nice looking runner, and he's a load as a return man. And they've had some nice looking returns here today.
First down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. As up to the line of scrimmage we go. 2 receivers wide lefts. Looks like they're going to run split backs here with McQuillan and Meyer. Out of the shotgun, Colby Duncan. McQuillan releases, hand off to Meyer. Meyer, stiff arm, turns the corner, and he's still on his feet, out of bounds at the 35.
They got him out at the 29.
Okay. So that will be a gain of 4 as the linesman puts the foot down. Clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. So Trey Vasquez with the block. The touchdown by Jace Thompson. And the Orediggers are within 8. This defense has stood strong here. Northwestern scored on their opening possession of the second half and really haven't been able to do a whole lot since then. 2 receivers left, 1 back at home. Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. Tech showing blitz. Duncan's going to keep it himself. He gets into the second level. He's across the 30, out to the 34. Brings up 3rd down and 3 here for the Red Raiders.
Pretty good execution because they had Kellen Beller blitzing there, the C gap, literally right into the play. Offensive lineman got his head up and hands up and got him taken care of.
Boy, crowd really getting loud here on a gorgeous day in Butte, Montana. Second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs.
They run Prince Hall in here. He's their rush end. He's the one they were waiting for halfway through the season to get back from injury and rush the passer. But I would be real surprised if this thing goes anywhere but in Meyer or McQuillan's gut.
Handoff will go to the tailback, and Meyer gets tripped up. Meyer will go down. That's 4th down here for the Red Raiders. Injured player down here for the Digs. Let's take a look here at the instant replay, our Case Construction instant replay. And it looked like
defensive player.
I think it might be Gunner.
So the player down is certainly the player who made the play. Tripped up Meyer. So 4th down. Take a look at this again here on the replay.
No.
Yes.
Oh, it's Wyant.
So Wyant is down here for the Digs.
Cole Wyant. They're helping him up.
Yep, Cole will get up. There we go. So Cole makes the play. And he made that play from his chest. He was laying on the ground and still somehow was able to get a hand in there.
Playing great football this year. Go on the sideline, have Mr. Miyagi put his magic hand cure on that thing. You got a few snaps here, hopefully, to heal up.
There just aren't people that represent Montana Tech better than the Wyant brothers. I mean, they are just as good as it gets.
He wanted to go back out there.
The trainer grabs him as like, no. So the punting unit is in here for the Red Raiders. Montana Tech trailing by 8, looking to make a 4th quarter surge here. 7:04 left to play. Good snap, and rollout punt is away. End over end. And Torgerson, fair catch at the 32-yard line. So the Ordiger offense will come back out. They've run 45 plays, 238 yards. And they will look to move the chains here as we make our way through the 4th quarter.
You can hammer that offense all you want. God knows I probably have a little bit here today, but they've put more than the average team has on this defense. I mean, that's how good it is.
Well, and that's the truth. I mean, we came in talking about this Montana Tech, Northwestern, in their 8 wins, didn't give up more than 1 score a game. And Montana Tech with 21 on the board, looking to add to that here. 1st down and 10 for the Digs. 2 receivers wide right, tight end right. And 1 back at home is Lander Smith. Blake Thielen out of the shotgun. Thielen brings man in motion, and that is Levi Torgerson. He'll get it. Levi turns it upfield. He's across the 35 out to the 37. That'll be a pickup of 4 on 1st down.
It's better than most today. Nice little pickup, little pop pass to Torgerson out of the backfield.
Digger vision here on a Saturday.
It's a good job by Smith. I don't know if by design Smith's probably supposed to pick up the next helmet there, but they had a miss upfield and Smith picked him off and kind of had to let his targeted guy go.
3 receivers. Thielen dropping back, looking to throw. Deep. He wants the deep shot, and Wyatt Alexander is there. Wyatt at the 15, 10, 5. Wyatt Alexander into the end zone. Touchdown, Ordiggers.
Yeah, they had a pretty good coverage, but I think they had 2 guys get caught up amongst each other, and Alexander came out of there scot-free.
Wyatt Alexander, take a look at the Case Construction instant replay. Boy, Thielen, look at how far back he drops. And then he just rifles it, as you mentioned. Let's see, those 2. Boy, I thought there was more of a collision there, honestly, in the secondary with Geltema and Mosier. But both stayed up pretty clean. And, boy, Wyatt Alexander takes it to the house. 10th touchdown of the year.
2-point conversion.
So they'll go for 2 to tie it up at 29. Full house backfield. Handoff going to go to Landers. Play action. Thielen rolls out into the back of the end zone. Touchdown. 2-point conversion is good as Michelotti gets it, and we're tied at 29. Wow. Michelotti hauls it in. That's a great play call. As they fake the handoff, they roll it out. Thielen stands and delivers, and we're tied at 29, and all the momentum is in the back pocket of Montana Tech.
Just going to say, you don't think momentum has much to do with this game. A blocked punt has just absolutely unleashed fury on this sideline of Montana Tech's. Just a great bunch of effort defensively and offensively and special teams. I mean, we've seen it all, right? Offense, defense, and special teams within the last 2.5 minutes of this ball game.
Oh, I'm just not sure my old heart could take this. 29-29 our score. Montana Tech with all the momentum. The Red Raiders will look to get something going. As we mentioned earlier, the Red Raiders scored on their first possession of the second half, but they have been offensively haven't been able to do a whole lot since that opening possession. And they will look to try and change that here. So Montana Tech kicking off. What a treat we have had here today.
And what a ball. I was just, inside my head, I was saying, step up, Blake, step up. And he just sat back there and unleashed an absolute dart to Alexander.
What is it you say about that young man and his ability to throw the deep ball, Heskett?
Yeah.
McQuillan will start it at the 2. He's across the 15, right side 20. He's shoved out of bounds at the 22. Boy, you can hear the crowd. Like, the energy in this joint is off the charts right now. And we're going to get a flag down. This is going to be extracurricular.
I don't know what it is. Unless... I don't think anybody at the play, that was just Montana Tech people jumping on Montana Tech people down here. I don't know what the call would be.
Montana Tech has 5 penalties so far.
Late hit, kicking team number 39. 15-yard penalty from the end of the return. First down.
So late hit against Montana Tech. Their 6th flag of the day. 75 yards.
I wonder if the late hit came on the field of play, upfield here a little bit, because right here, there's nothing. He's still in the field of play. His feet. Oh, there, I think I saw it right there at the very end.
So 1st and 10 here for Northwestern.
It was upfield about 2 or 3 yards here.
So they'll start things off at their 35-yard line. Out of the shotgun is Duncan. Man in motion is McQuillan. McQuillan gets the carry. He's across the 35. Gets hit hard, but keeps his balance. He's up to the 41.
The hitting out there is just getting absolutely filthy. Yeah. I mean, it is good stuff.
This has been a physical ball game.
I mean, Cole Wyant can't even raise his right arm above parallel, but you couldn't trick him out of this game right now.
Watch this. McQuillan just gets hammered.
Gonzer.
And he keeps his feet down. Big shot by Gonzer. 2nd and 4. Up to the line of scrimmage, Colby Duncan. Freshman out of Papillon, Nebraska. One back lined up in the pistol is McQuillan. McQuillan gets the carry right side. He gets hit, dives forward for a gain of 1, nearly 2.
Oaks is in there making a mess again. Gunnar Peterson getting down the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 2 here for the Red Raiders. What a second half, and what a 4th quarter, I should say. Goodness, the only score we had in the 3rd was the Red Raiders with a touchdown on their opening possession of the 3rd. And they really controlled the momentum through that full 15 minutes. 3rd down and 2.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts.
Meyer in the backfield. Montana Tech showing pressure. Quarterback's going to keep it. Leans forward. He's out to the 45. 1st down yardage. And that is 1st down yardage. And honestly, from our angle, not a very good spot, truthfully. It felt like his body fell over the 45 a ways. But they do move the chains here for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that was another thing. That was Meyer out of the Wildcat, correct?
It could have been. I missed it. I apologize.
That's another thing I was going to touch on in the pregame. In short yardage, you will see Logan Meyer go back there at quarterback as a Wildcat quarterback.
1st down and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Ball at their 45-yard line. 4:04 left to play. Heavy formation to the wide side. Handoff will go to the tailback, and he's going to lose 2. Stacked up. Big-time play by the Montana Tech defensive front as Meyer had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Trey Yates in there.
Boy, this D front has played well today.
Trey Yates, along with Zach Newton. I mean, they to their credit, they never got to do a bunch of this last year, but now we're starting to see 6, 7, 8 bodies with their knuckles in the ground at various times throughout a game, and that's just helped this defense so much.
Northwestern has run 64 offensive plays for 343 yards. They're looking at 2nd and 12. Out of the shotgun is Duncan. Duncan kicks it across to McQuillan. McQuillan gets out to the 50. He'll break through for a gain of 6. That brings up 3rd and 5.
Angel
Boy's
Sanchez. Sanchez gets up there and flips him up.
McQuillan, as of right now, 19 carries, 114 yards on the day. 3rd down and 5 here for the Red Raiders. This place is electric.
Can't fall asleep here.
3rd and 5.
You just can't fall asleep, especially on Gerard deep or on the swing route. I don't know if that's Logan back there, Logan Meyer.
Duncan out of the shotgun, 2 receivers each way. Montana Tech will rush 4. Duncan looking right the whole way, and that one's going to be incomplete. Errant pass, that one will fall incomplete. 4th down from the 50 with 2:33 left to go. And the Red Raiders will bring the special teams unit onto the field. So the Ordinger offense, possibly a chance to do some damage here.
Probably all you'll see here is if Torgerson's going to get a read on this 10-yard line, maybe down to the 7, 8-yard line, he'll fair catch it. If it's beyond that, he'll take his chances on the ball rolling into the end zone.
So Stater back to punt it away. 35-yard line, no pressure. Stater gets it away. High kick, end over end. And fair caught right at the 20-yard line by Levi Torgerson.
All you can ask for if you're Montana Tech, a chance to go down and win this football game. 80 yards to pay dirt, 2.5 minutes, all your timeouts.
As you see on the screen, Montana Tech with all 3 timeouts. The Digs right now have run, let's take a look here, 47 offensive plays, 305 yards. Blake Thielen is 10 of 24 for 238 and a pair of touchdowns. Lander Smith has run for 55 on the ground and 1 score. Receiving-wise, Wyatt Alexander, 3 catches for 116 and a touchdown. Michelati has 2 catches for 74 and a score. Tech up to the line of scrimmage. Blake Thielen, split backs right now. We'll see if that changes here as they get set. Thielen brings man in motion. 1st down and 10. Handoff is going to go to Smith. Smith across the line of scrimmage. He'll get 3. Not a whole lot there again. Northwestern's done a really nice job.
Again, it's just hit and read defensive front play. I don't know that more than 1 or 2 times I saw him bring 1 linebacker today. I can't wait to go back and look at this. This is unbelievably disciplined, coached defense, knowing what you do well. I mean, it's incredible.
We have hit the 2-minute timeout, ladies and gentlemen. Montana Tech and Northwestern are tied up 29 apiece with a 2-minute timeout. We'll take one. We're back here after this.
Hey, Dave Brennan here with Case IH. One of the new options for model year 2024 is going to be an open spoke gauge wheel. That open spoke gauge wheel is going to be available on all 2000 series planters. That's going to help those growers in adverse conditions where they're muddy or high residue conditions minimize that plugging in and around that gauge wheel area. For more information on this new offering of open spoke gauge wheels, visit your local Case IH dealer.
Back here once again after our 2-minute timeout, ladies and gentlemen. We're tied up 29 apiece. Montana Tech 2nd down and 7 with all their timeouts. They are, what are we looking at here, 76 yards away from making their way to the final 8. What a game this has been from top to bottom. And out of the shotgun, Blake Thielen. Slot comes in motion. Levi Torgerson goes back the other way. Handoff, play action. Actually, Thielen looking to throw. He'll drop it off underneath. Pass caught somehow. And out across the 30 to the 31-yard line is Logan Kennedy.
Got the sticks moved. That's all you need there.
How does he make that catch? It's down. Take a look at this on our Case Construction instant replay. It's down in his shoelaces.
He's had to do that a bunch in his career. I mean, it seems odd to say, but he's had to make that catch a bunch in his career.
That's a great catch by Logan Kennedy. First down and 10 after they move the sticks. 1:40 left to play. Again, thanks for joining us on Digger Vision all across the country. Looks like the bulk of our other games are wrapped up. Out of the shotgun, Thielen looks downfield. He has a man, and that one's going to fall incomplete. Wyatt Alexander, the intended target. Safety up over the top that time was Fritz coming across. And they're going to run deep safety here for the remainder of it, you'd have to assume.
This guy to the boundary side is always going to look double covered. And if you don't threaten that cornerback with a back out or a tight end arrow route or something like that, he will stay. So it'll look like he's bracketed. I mean, they just happen to be, since Wyatt Alexander's here, it happens to look like they're double covering him. But if you take him to the wide side, he's going to get mano-a-mano against number 7 out there, Gavin Lorenzen.
Nick Michelati goes all the way up top. Out of the shotgun, Blake Thielen. Second down and 10. One back at home. Thielen escapes. Downfield. Pass is caught. Boy, that's a nice catch out to the 36-yard line. Boy, able to bring that one in. That was a tough catch on the far sideline.
Montana Tech's taking their sweet time now. We're going to get a timeout.
So the Digs will call a timeout here. 1:09 left to play.
It's funny how this versus, say, 20 years ago, how much less a team feels rushed at 2 minutes and 3 timeouts versus what we did. And we always knew it. I mean, you get the 3 timeouts, $1:10 or $1:15, you always knew it, but you always felt rushed. These guys don't look or feel rushed right now.
What a ball game we have had here this evening. Northwestern went up early 6-0 on a pair of turnovers for Montana Tech in the opening quarter. They grabbed their biggest lead after the opening possession of the second half. And then Montana Tech with a huge fourth quarter has tied us up at 29. And they have a shot left with 1:09 remaining here in this ball game with a pair of timeouts. As of right now, Montana Tech, let's take a look here. 51 offensive plays on the day for a total of 322 yards. On the other side, Northwestern has run 66 offensive plays for 349 yards.
What's the play call?
I think you're going to run. I like drag with Levi Torgerson at the 45, or middle slant, I guess, more of a drag. Man in motion, Wyatt Alexander out of the shotgun. Thielen dropping back. Slant is a middle route, goes to the tight end. Logan Kennedy on his horse across the 45 and out of bounds.
You have the drag part right.
Wrong guy.
Yep.
Wrong guy.
That's okay. Good call, Coach.
Fresh set of downs here for the Digs. 1:01 left to play in the ball game. Another TDS first down. Thank you again so much for joining us here on Digger Vision, not only today but throughout the season. And what a ball game we have had here. The change in momentum today, the swings have been monstrous. First down and 10. Ball at the 44-yard line of Northwestern. I'd be real interested to know what the field goal line is that they're trying to get to, possibly, if they don't get a touchdown out of it. Thielen, 3 receivers, dropping back, looking down the middle into triple coverage. It's intercepted at the 14-yard line. That one is intercepted as the Red Raiders down the sideline, still on their feet, running with that football is Mosier. Mosier goes all the way across the field. Mosier at the 45 and out of bounds at the 48 with 42 seconds left. So Mosier picks that thing off.
Just an overthrow, but he threw it into pretty heavy coverage as well. They tried to get, I think it was Kennedy, right down the center of the football field.
I believe you are correct. And that just overthrown. Mosier gets the interception and then just weaves his way up the field. So here we go for Northwestern, a chance for the Red Raiders. Ball at their own 48-yard line, 42 seconds remaining. They have 3 timeouts.
He's no stranger with the ball in his hands. He's played a little wide out here today as well.
Colby Duncan out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. And the handoff will go to the tailback and Meyer. Meyer gets through the first level. He's inside the 40 down to the 35. They'll stop the clock with 34 seconds remaining. From there, you're looking at about a 52-yard field goal. We'll try and keep you updated on that here as this goes. Nice run by Meyer in the first time out for Northwestern here in the second half.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, those inside linebackers are running with that vertical route, between the safeties. That time, it was a Mulder running. Excuse me, there's 2 Mulders. There was Mulder, the linebacker, running down the middle of the field, and we've also seen Parker Fryer running with that vertical route as well. And that 2-deep concept, a lot of times if there's that vertical release out of what you would call number 3, that guy's man-to-man with the inside linebacker. They ran with him all day.
35 seconds remaining in the ball game. We have talked about the ability of the Raiders to kick here throughout the game. Eli Stater hit a 55-yarder for a career high. So we are inside his range now. We'd be sitting at about a 52-yard field goal where it currently resides.
And they're content. I'm 95% confident you will not see Colby Duncan throw this football, all right? So that means that the offense will not call a throwing play. Now, you may see Duncan carry it, but I'm pretty confident they're comfortable here. It's field goal range or go to overtime, right?
Northwestern, 67 plays, 366 yards. Crowd getting loud again. Handoff going to go to Meyer. Meyer stretching right, and he'll get stood up. And they'll finally blow that one dead. He'll get a yard on forward progress. Clock down to 26 seconds before Northwestern has to call their second timeout. So Northwestern calls their second timeout. They have 1 remaining with 26 seconds left in this football game.
Now, they don't want to go backwards, don't get me wrong, but I still don't think they will try and throw this ball at all. I think it'll be...
And I don't even think you'll see an edge. I think they keep it between the tackles, personally.
Right, McQuillan. Yeah, one of the dangers, too, is if you try and run the perimeter, you open eyes to holding calls, right? You haven't seen a lot of holding calls out here today, but, sidelines can influence.
So second down and 11.
Tech needs a holding call here like a dog needs a bone, that's for sure.
So the Red Raiders out of the huddle. They scored on their opening possession here in the second half, and they have not gotten any other points since then. And that first series took 2 minutes. And they have been, this Montana Tech defense really has stymied them since that point. Second and 11. Up to the line of scrimmage, Colby Duncan, the freshman out of Nebraska. 1 back, 2 receivers left, tight end in motion. Duncan awaiting the snap. Montana Tech handoff will go to McQuillan. McQuillan hits he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. There's nowhere to go. McQuillan will get half a yard, if that.
How fitting. Potentially the last tackle of regulation comes from Anthony Oakes there in this case, left defensive end. God, what a great game he's played.
So they're going to put the football down at the 34-yard line. The clock is going to run down, you'd assume, to 1 second, and they're going to attempt this field goal. So they'll let it go at 3. So third down and 9 from the 34-yard line. This will be a 51-yard attempt for the win in Butte, Montana. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks for joining us here on Digger Vision. Outstanding football in the second round of the NAIA Football Playoffs.
The leg is not an issue here. The leg is not an issue. He certainly displayed he has the leg to kick this field goal.
You know what else is not an issue that we always talk about up here is the wind. Every flag is just dormant here. We've got the one back on the Gallus frame is kind of coming out of the west a little bit.
I think he gets help here, if anything.
Yeah, there's really no wind here.
We need the temperature to drop about 30 degrees here in the next 30 seconds. Think that can happen?
Well, we'll try.
Kick an icicle. regardless of how this turns out, what a great effort here by this Montana Tech team here in the second half, and certainly a great effort out of Northwestern here today. What a pleasure and a good bunch of players to watch.
51-yard attempt from the right hash mark, and Montana Tech will call it.
You got to be careful here if you're Montana Tech. You want to get a piece of this thing, but you do not want to A, rough the kicker, or B, jump off sides. You do not. I mean, because you never know what's going to happen. Let what's going to happen, and go.
So a 51-yard attempt. So the Digs call the timeouts. They don't let them kick it this time. What's that? They don't let them kick it this time like the other timeout in the first half. So again, a 51-yard attempt.
I got a question for you. Can you call back-to-back timeouts as long as you have them? Can you ice them like 3 times in a row is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think you can you? I think 2 is a penalty, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't.
On offense it is anyway. I don't know about the defensive side. So here we go. Everybody on their feet in Butte, Montana. 3rd down and 9. A 51-yard attempt from the right hash mark. A little bit of wind from left to right. Stater. Snap and hold are good. Stater gets it. And just over the bar. That one just squeaks over the bar, and Northwestern will advance into the round of 8.
Great kick. Great kick. I mean, he didn't have room for 52, I don't think, but he didn't need 52. That's just execution.
Just over the crossbar, Northwestern will get the win, 32-29. And Northwestern will get the victory here in Butte, Montana over the Orediggers and move on into the round of 8. A 51-yard field goal to put this one into the record books.
What it is about long field goals in Montana Tech. I go back to the 58-yarder down at College of Idaho.
Yes, College of Idaho.
To swallow that one as well.
So let's, the teams are going to come together. And it looks like we will, not only when the game is done, will the teams come together, we'll get our presentation, we'll get an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP. Who's your offensive MVP, if you're picking?
From either squad?
Yes.
Boy, that's a good question.
Do you go, is it something like Connor McQuillan, 20 carries, 116 yards and a score? He also had 3 catches for 34.
That's a great call. I think you give the offensive MVP to McQuillan. I'm not so sure if you want Anthony Oakes, Matt Wickholm, both had great games on the Tech defense, as did, a bunch of guys played really good on that defense. But it's tough to get away from what Parker Fryer and some of those defenders did there. I never saw much of Dragstra, but I did see Dragstra come back in the game, which was good. He was down there, or in the trenches down the stretch. But, yeah, they had a lot of good guys there to make plays. Mulder, somebody that late, right? Mulder made with the big interception. Yeah, I don't know. It's the defensive MVP will always be more difficult.
As I look down, Safe Benjamia is in street clothes on crutches. Looks like he's got something on his right knee. Hopefully Safe is going to be all right. Everybody coming over to check in on him. Our final 32-29 as we wrap this thing up, as Northwestern will get the win here in Butte, Montana. They'll advance into the round of 8.
Great gesture there, Voss. The last one to come over. Great deep front guy for this defense. He was leaning on Safe Benjamia all game long. Got to know him. Great gesture. And hats off to Northwestern. That is a sound football team. Now, whether they have to run into Western next week, I don't know.
Yeah.
If they would send them back out here. Western just is just a force like this with maybe a little more offensive prowess, I would say, down there in Dillon. So, yeah, I don't know. But this team, Montana Tech, was playing so good coming into this game. A great comeback, great special teams play, hitting the big home run ball and the 2-point conversion to tie it up, and then moving the chains, and then just a costly turnover, and it's kind of weird. That's what we started the game with and what we ended the game with.
Well, we're waiting here. We'll give you the final numbers here in just a moment. The Frontier Conference Commissioner, Dr. Crawford, is on the field, and he is our game official. He will hand out I believe the offensive MVP, the defensive MVP. And we'll hear from him in just a minute. Colby Duncan, a quarterback for Northwestern, finished 6 of 17 for 130 yards and a pair of touchdowns. McQuillan on the ground had 20 carries for 116 yards and 1 score. Logan Meyer, 13 carries for 83. And Colby Duncan, the quarterback, had 18 carries for 40 yards on the day. McQuillan, the leading receiver as well, 3 catches for 34 yards and a score. Austin Gerard had the one deep shot, a 73-yarder. He had 2 catches for 86 for Northwestern. Again, the Red Raiders here ran 69 offensive plays for 367 yards, for Northwestern here today. They had 4 penalties for 18 yards. Let's see here. On third down, they were 8 of 17. And the big one there, again, is turnovers as well. No turnovers for Northwestern in this round of 16 game. On the other side for Montana Tech, let's run you through their numbers here for the Digs. 53 offensive plays, 341 total yards. Let's see here. The Digs were 4 of 12 on third down, a pair of turnovers, actually 3 turnovers, in this ball game. Blake Thielen was 13 of 29 for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the day for Blake. On the ground, Lander Smith, 18 carries, 58 yards, and 1 score. Blake Thielen had 2 for 5. Ethan Renner, 2 for 5 as well. Through the air, Wyatt Alexander, 3 catches, 116 yards, and 1 touchdown. Nick Michelotti, 3 catches for 80 yards and a score. And Logan Kennedy, 3 catches for 43 yards on the day. Again, Montana Tech ran 53 offensive plays for 341 yards. And Northwestern, 69 offensive plays for 367 yards. And Northwestern will get the win, 32-29 over Montana Tech. As the Digs still chatting it over in the huddle. When they're done, my understanding is we will get our presentation here.
It's a tough huddle. You're saying goodbye in that huddle to 23 seniors. And we're going to miss them. We'll probably still see them around from time to time, but yeah, you're going to miss them. There's a lot of really good young gentlemen in that huddle that went out on a real sour note here, hosting a playoff game, getting down, things aren't looking good, making the plays to get back to tied and a chance to go down and win this football game. And it just didn't get done. And your heart just breaks for them. It just does. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's obvious that your heart breaks for them. But at the same time, the Northwestern Red Raiders came in and played football. I tell you what, that is a sound football team. And regardless of who they run into coming up here, they're going to have a hell of a time getting in the end zone.
Let's see if we can get our... So we're going to get our offensive and defensive MVPs awarded here. So our champions of character are announced on both sides. Kyle Torgerson on the Montana Tech side, and on the other side, Ben Eagley. Eagley, a junior out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. Kyle Torgerson, senior out of Great Falls, the champions of character for both the programs.
Our offensive player of the game from this afternoon's contest is number 9, Eli Sater. And our defensive player of the game.
So Stater, the kicker, was the offensive.
And congratulations to the Northwestern College Red Raiders for advancing to the next round of 2024.
So Stater was the offensive.
And they gave it to Mulder. Big interception. There
you go. So Mulder gets the defensive. So the Red Raiders have advanced, Tasky, 32-29, our final. Unfortunately, the Diggers' final game of the year here on Bob Green Field, the only game of the year they lost on this field, but certainly left it all out there. Just a great ball game between 2 really good football programs.
Yeah, they fought to the end. There's no doubt about it. It's just a tough pill to swallow. All that momentum, all that juice, getting the ball back. Chance to go down, managing the clock, doing a great job with the clock, crossing midfield, and then it's just unfortunate, a little bit of an overthrow and a play made, right? The guy's still got to make a play and intercept that football, and you got to tip your hat to Mulder making the pick and the huge return. I mean, if that return is say, I don't know, 15 or 20 yards shorter, I think we're going to overtime, right?
Agreed.
I think they may be content going to overtime.
Possibly, yeah.
You know,
I mean, the fact that Mulder gets that return over midfield is a big, big deal.
Because they didn't want to throw the ball. It was clear to me they didn't want to throw the ball in the second half. And Montana Tech just did a great job up front, shutting them down, running the ball. Other than that first series and McQuillan getting away from them. Just a great game, especially defensively, both teams. But a great game defensively by Montana Tech. And the future looks bright. Even though they're losing 23 seniors, there's a lot of really good football players coming back on that football team and in the cupboard on that football team. So I'm looking forward to next year already.
I am as well. And honestly, thanks everyone for joining us here on Digger Vision throughout the year. Our thanks for what these seniors did for this program. You know, you look at a lot of these guys were the absolute pillar of this team over their years here in Butte, and certainly greatly appreciated. I also thank our crew. As our crew up there, Ron Haskett, you're up there as well. But our crew who has had everything done this year, just look.
Haskins.
Haskins again.
At least it's not Rob.
Well, I mean, the hate mail won't go to you anyway, so that's the good part.
Feeling a little bit like Rodney Dangerfield right now.
My thanks to everybody in the booth. For Ron Haskett, I'm Paul Panisco. Thanks for joining us not only tonight, but throughout all season. And until next time, take care.